Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Bob. Aww. Hi, Lopter. What's up? Easy. What did my last matchup chart look like? Too hard, really easily slight advantage. I'm just gonna copy this. Hi, Secretary. Hey, Aspen. What's up? I haven't made a matchup chart in like a year and a half. Way too hard. Possible. Oh fudge, how do I turn on noise cancelling so you guys can't hear every single fucking letter that I type? Do you go to add filter, noise suppression, add. Okay. Increase. Okay, that didn't work. It's fine. Slight disadvantage. Even. I don't think I put Pika -3. What have I been up to? Nothing. Slight advantage. Literally nothing. I've just been like decomposing. Add tier. What is this? Really easy. Alright. You're quitting your schoolwork to watch this? This is gonna take a while. I take a really long time to do these. Remove the filter. This sounds weird now. Okay. How do I get rid of the typing sound though? Like, is there anything I can do? Your birthday was last Wednesday and you bought yourself a PS5? Okay. That's a, like, haven't PS5s been out for like a minute now? Remember when you money matched Plant at Let's Make Big Moves? I money matched Ryan's Plant. Did I money match your Plant too? It's ambiance, don't worry. Okay, sure. You like the typing sound? Okay, cool. Whatever. Bayo. I have a Bayo ad. What is this? It just takes you to SSB Wiki. What? Yeah, Ryan DCB is the GOAT, but I won the run back. Shattuck. You were there. Okay. Okay, let's start. Which Steve should I use? Alex. What are the Steve's names? Enderman. Where are they? Zombie. What's the normal looking one's name? Where is he? Wait. What? Aren't there like 5 Steve skins? Where are they? Alex. Zombie. Enderman. There's one that just looks like a regular guy, right? Oh, that guy's name is Steve, isn't it? Oh. Is there not a 5th one? Wait. There's the 5th one, right? They don't just have 4 skins. But I don't see them. There's not just 4 skins, right? Okay, whatever. I want to use Alex. Hi, Michael. Okay, so Steve is gonna be even because wait. Wait. Is Steve even? I have to think about it. I always think he's like even, but then if they knew the matchup, they would lose a bit. But like Steve is looking at its flop air now, so now I have to think about it. Hi, XCal. Okay, let's really think about it. Even. Wait, I can put chat up here. Okay. I'm gonna put Steve in even because Bayo has all the tools to not get hit by him, and he dies to special combos even if he DIs well because he's super floaty and has a big hitbox. And all of those things that kill early, you have to really fuck up to get hit by. So I think if I played Onan, I would win like right now because I just don't think Steve is like all that right now anyway, you know? I feel like if both Steve and the Bayo know like everything the other person can do, like everything, then I think Steve would win. But no Steve is in that demographic of people, you know? So I don't think it'll ever be bad for Bayo. So I'm gonna put Steve in even. But if they knew everything that I knew about Bayo, I would not win. Because they would probably just like know exactly where to put blocks to just like fuck me up. Can you move your cam to the top right? Okay. How do I? Okay. How do you know Michael? Whatever. Okay. I'm not using this kid. And I'm gonna use girl Wii Fit trainer. I don't want to use Sans. I'm not gonna use separate Aegis. I hate that they just like give you clutter and they're like deal with it. I'm not gonna use Simon. I'm not gonna use Mithra. Don't need Inkling. Parentheses boy. I'll use a normal hero. Girl Corrin. Girl Byleth. No Daisy. I don't need Ivysaur. Don't need Squirtle. Don't need Charizard. Like, I literally have 3 rows of clutter. Am I missing anyone? Boy Robin. Boy Pokemon Trainer. I think we're good. Okay, we're good. You can turn off echoes in the top left. Oh. It's fine. It's over now. Okay. So, Banjo. How about you guys tell me which ones you want me to do, and then we'll just go in order from there. Because doing it in order is kind of boring. And then, like, if you guys are waiting for your main, you don't have to wait for like an hour for me to get to your main. Alright, Wolf. I'm gonna put Wolf in possible or slight disadvantage. I got really close to beating Jackal and I beat Ouch, and I'm not that much better than them, so I feel like it's not impossible. I feel like that's being dramatic, you know? But also Wolf is like really good and really hard to mess up, like what you're playing versus Bayo. Oh my god, the chat's on my face now. Ugh, but if I put it here, there's clutter. Please, just... Okay. Okay, no one fight. Just stay there. Don't exit this box. I'm putting you in. Okay, so... I'm gonna put Wolf in slight disadvantage for Bayo because she is pretty good, like, air-to-air, and not a lot of characters can just, like, air-to-air Wolf, you know? Like, ever. And his grounded options are good if he's already set up in a good position, but he's not good just standing still versus Bayo because she can, like, outmaneuver him, and he has to kind of, like, keep up the movement to, like, play neutral. Like, if Wolf is standing still, it's not that threatening because he's not that good at a shield, and you can just kind of harass him, like, and poke away at him if he just stands still. You know what I mean? So, like, when Wolf has you at ledge and he's just standing still, like, he's really strong just F-tilting and down smashing and stuff because he's already set up that positioning. But in neutral, he actually has to, like, move well and get around you, and that's when Bayo can kind of stuff out his movement and get a lot of damage. So I think if Bayo has really good movement and, like, kind of understands where to be to make Wolf uncomfortable, it's not that bad. But you kind of have to really get Wolf. If you don't, then you'll just get hit by too many meaty hitboxes and you'll just lose. So I'm going to put in slight disadvantage. Like, you have to outplay the Wolf to win, but, like, if you outplay the Wolf, you should win, you know? And also his confirms that, like, he kind of relies on that makes him relevant at top level, like fair bear and, like, up air into shit. Like, it's kind of hard to do on Bayo because of bats, so he doesn't get as much damage on Bayo as you think he would. Especially because his grab range isn't good, so he doesn't get many grab confirms on Bayo either. So you just kind of have a lot of chances. He doesn't really, like in normal Wolf matchups, Wolf will, like, chunk you to, like, 30 and then chunk you to 70 and then try to kill you. But with Bayo, he has to work really hard to get you to 70. Or he has to outplay you to, like, really get something good set up. So I'm just going to put it in slight disadvantage. Min. Okay. Min. You know, I honestly think Bayo loses this matchup, but I'm just going to put it in even. It's just, like, I feel like Min as a character doesn't even, like, exist unless it's Proto. Like, every other Min, and I played against all the Min-Mins. Like, I played against Justice and Zurzel and, like, Desley's in my region. Like, I played against them all, and when I play them and I look at their decisions, I just feel like they're not educated decisions, you know? Like, if I was playing Min versus Bayo, I would, like, dash tag so much. Like, I would dash tag every 2 seconds. Because, like, it just works. Like, you will cross her up, and Bayo doesn't have anything low behind her shield. Like, she can't ABK out of shield like a dash tag cross up because you're too far gone by then. Like, you're under the ABK and you can't turn around grab or turn around dash grab because it's not that laggy. They can dash tag again. It's kind of like Mii Brawler. Like, Min players are always, like, they'll find themselves in the corner and then they'll do defensive options like shield or roll or, like, jump or, like, a really obvious, like, get off of me, like, smash tag type thing. And if you just guess right, you don't have to read them. You just guess right, and, like, their score is so good, and they just end up dying. If you read a roll, if you read anything, like, you which time their smash tag, they'll just die. But they should just dash tag. Like, nothing bad will happen, you know? And if they just, like, pick you apart with, like, a couple normals here and there, it's so good for them. And also, she has good ledge trapping on Bayo. So you can dash tag Bayo, and she has to respect it and, like, play in a range outside of the dash tag or above the dash tag or something, and kind of have to be forced to play around it. Because if you don't respect her dash tag, it'll set you up in a text or it'll put you off stage, and then you end up taking a ton of damage. And also, Min should not die off stage as much as they do. Like, I don't understand why Min players die off stage, like, 75% of the time. It can't be that hard. Like, can't they just, like, double jump air dodge past me or something? I don't know. I just feel like Min players should not lose neutral to Bayo. Like, I feel like Bayo's neutral is like 10 times worse. But also, she just dies if she gets hit. But also, Min players are so bad at disadvantage state for some reason. Like, they'll always like down her out of it and stuff. I feel like the character isn't developed enough for like the player base. Not even the character. The player base is just not that good. But I feel like if I played Proto, I wouldn't win. Her recovery is exploitable, but like, how are they ending up off stage? I would literally just like land, like if a Bayo F through me to like the corner, I would literally land and then instantly dash like out of the corner. And then if they F through me again, I would just do it again. Like, it wouldn't, like, you can't, it's too finicky. Like, you can't ever like a 1-to-1. It's not like, okay, for example, let me see. If you have like Ivysaur in the corner, right? And you were like, he can't instantly do something out of the corner. Like, if you just watch him, he can't do like a jump out of the corner. You can just reactively swat it. He can't roll. You can reactively just like punish it. And then he's forced to like sit there because you could just react to everything else. And then he has to like play out of shield and stuff. And then you can pressure his shield with like stuff, right? It's like a 1-to-1 thing. Like, Ivysaur is in the corner, therefore he's going to get pressured because he doesn't have a way out. But she has a way out, but they just don't use it. Like, isn't that weird? Her dash attack goes to center stage, like, instantly. Isn't that weird? They have that, and then they just don't use it. And it's safe on shield. Like, you just cross up. It's safe. I just feel like there's no reason why they should be getting, like, flow charted to death off of, like, every single interaction. So I'll put an even. Like, if I played better than Proto, I would probably win. But that's where I would put something like this. But it's like, maybe I just don't get the character, you know? Maybe I just don't get it. Hey Lima, super underrated, but something I've been needing off my chest for a while. You're hot AF. Okay, that's all. Have a nice stream. Oh, thank you. Okay, next character. Every Minwin will die, but Proto, yeah. I don't know. I just watched Naira play Proto for like a couple hours on his stream like one time a couple months ago, and I was like, wow, this looks like unbeatable. Like, I wouldn't beat that. Byleth? Okay, let's do Byleth. Bayo low-key wins. Like, low-key. Ever since I learned how to footstool out of shield that stupid Nair, and I don't have to care about their Nair anymore, I feel like they don't have that much on Bayo. Like, their grab range is not that big, and their Nair is kind of their whole thing. Like, they have no priority in the air without it. And I learned how to edgeguard her, too. I learned how to, like, Mire's taught me that when she, like, up Bs, like, she tethers to the stage, they grab it, like, horizontally. So if you want to like swat her out, you just put a hitbox like horizontal to the ledge, and then it'll like swat them. And I feel like Bayo has, technically Bayo should just win, right? Because she has a better advantage state, better like edge guarding and stuff. And I just think the reason that people struggle versus this character in general is because they force when people are in the corner too much, like in general. Like, yes, she's good in the corner, like she doesn't suffer that much because she has down tilt and like roll and whatever, but you can just leave her there, you know? And she doesn't pressure Bayo that much when Bayo's in the corner either. She has to get like a lucky swat on her jump, because once Bayo jumps off the ledge, she shouldn't be able to chase. She's too slow. Why Footstool Dare? Because Footstool Dare is an actual like it'll send them immediately off stage, and I think that the Footstool range is sometimes even bigger than the Witch Twist range. And yeah, it just kills. Like, after they're at like 90, you just downer them off stage, like Footstool Downer, and then they can't reposition in time before you're out there, and then you can just kind of like get a really easy edge guard. So I just think, yeah, I don't know. It's always really hard as a top player to rank characters that Leo plays, because Leo plays you with them, and then it gets in your head, and you're like, oh my god, like, this character is fucking unbeatable. But in reality, Bayo probably beats Byleth. Like, let's be real. Like, it just wouldn't make much sense for Byleth to beat Bayo. Like, if you just look at the kits, like, 1-to-1, like, Bayo wins. Like, let's be real. Hi, Lima, hi. Samus? Let's do Samus. Oh my god. Okay, no, wait, look. I can't believe this ended like this. I tried to do a freaking stupid... I tried to do a double jump witch time, and I don't know why, but it just didn't come out. And I literally, like, audibly was like, fuck, when it happened, and then I just lost. And I was so sad because I never thought in my life I would lose to Sisui of all people. Okay, what happens here again? Oh, that's why. Oh my god, it was so dumb. I buffer, jump witch time, right? But he fucking runs over, instantly gets hit by it, and that 2 frames of hit lag that I got from hitting him with the last hit of my up B messed up my buffer of the double jump witch time, and I just fell to my death, and I was like, okay. Why the fuck was he there? Why did he go there? Is he stupid? Ugh, whatever. Bayo wins, and I'm never losing again. So stupid. And I'm not ranking stupid ass Dark Samus. Be fucking normal. Okay. Bayo wins because you can put Samus in a range where she has to like deal with the pressure of ABK, and the only way for her to like end the pressure is by committing with like a grab or a dash attack. And they're both way too committal for like fighting Bayo, because if Bayo full hops over either of them, you just instantly get blendered and it's like horrible. Like it's really bad for Samus. So when I fight Teaser, I literally just go in a range where he has like 3 options, and it's like shield, neutral B, or like just commit straight onto me, and that's all he can do, and the risk reward for all of it is like bad. And then once he like releases the neutral B, because it's one of his only options because of the pressure, I just jump over it or dash out or shield it, and then he has no neutral B left, and then I just like can start spamming on him because he doesn't have a get off me option anymore. Like when you're in a range where you can ABK Samus, her only answer with a good reward and risk is neutral B, and so they have to use it eventually, and then once they use it, you can just kind of pressure Samus with whatever you want because she can't do much about it. And also, like, Samus's backer is a bit slow, so if you ABK behind Samus's head, like most characters can backer it and have a really strong punish. Like Roy could just like shield your ABK and then backer it, or let me see. Who else has like a really strong one? Like Cloud. They can just like backer you, and it's a really strong punish, and then you get sent to the ledge probably. But Samus's backer is too slow, so if you ABK right behind her and then you just press air dodge, you'll bats her backer, and then you're like right next to her and you can punish her. So she has to respect you when you ABK behind her shield, and because she has to respect you, that means you just get to get next to her like instantly, and then that's really good for you. And also her get off me's versus other characters sets up advantage state. Like when she up B's out of shield versus Byleth's Nair or something, Byleth has to like land, and that's a process. Like you have to land and then you have to contest with her up air when you're landing, or like land and then deal with a neutral B or like a lip missile. But when Bayo gets sent away from Samus, like nothing happens because like you just land. You can't stop Bayo from landing. She'll just dive kick if things get even slightly harder if you challenge her. So when Samus like gets Bayo off of her, that's all she's doing. And if you're in a matchup and you find yourself hitting people just to get them away from you, you probably don't win that matchup. Like it's like I'm just trying to kill them over and over again, and they're getting like very low amounts of damage every time. So it's just not that great of a matchup. And also, you can do a witch time off stage if they send you off stage, and then double jump witch time onto the stage, and none of the Samus ledge traps work. It invalidates like all of them because you just rise up with it. The second one doesn't have any momentum canceling, so you just rise up with the witch time and break their ledge trap. So that's like Samus's whole core as a character is her ledge traps, and if she can't do that, she just sucks. So this is like one of Samus's worst matchups. I'm so embarrassing for losing to Sisui. So embarrassing. Game & Watch? Where is he? I can't believe I lost to Sisui. Okay, whatever. It's over. It's over. It's been months. A, B, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, K. Wait. A, B, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Wait. Where's G? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Where is he? What's going on? It's under Mr. A, B, C, H, H, K, L, M, N, P. Element. Oh. Oh. I was looking at game. I'm so dumb. Okay. But the comments said G and W, so I just... Okay. I think this matchup's even. I think that like Bayo has all the tools to beat him if she knows what he's gonna do. So Game & Watch has to like actually outplay you to win. But that's about it. I don't think that if the Game & Watch is playing better than you, you're gonna win ever. but it's just that Game & Watches don't usually do that ever. So, you know, don't worry about it. So yeah, if you play better than them, if they're being really predictable and stuff, you have all the tools to win, and you should feel bad if you know what they're going to do and you still lose. But if they actually play well, you don't really have that great of a shot, because Game & Watch is just like really hard if they actually know what's going on. Like I'm not sure if I would beat Mia because he's really good, but like if they're just spamming down air like Meister was, then it's not that hard. Like they're really light and they play grounded, so, and they don't really escape combos that much. Like they take the damage on combos. Even if they cut the ending short, they still take a lot of damage. Like if a Game & Watch is ending your combo after you do 30% with like a B and it cancels and stuff, that's still way worse for them than if Byleth took like 50%, because this character has to approach you from the ground and you have jab to check that. So if you just hit them like 4 times, they should be at like 110, and then you just jab and they literally just die. So it's like there's like a system with this character. Like the character will die eventually, you know, if you just play it properly. And they don't actually have a consistent way to damage to Bayo is the thing. Like they have to approach with an unsafe nair, or they have to outplay you in ground and neutral and get a grab. And if they don't get either of those, they're gonna just like not get the actual strings, and then you just kind of win because you're doing more damage, and this character can't live forever because that's not really what that character does. Yeah, there's easy witch times if they're being dumb. And also this character, the neutral B ledge trap doesn't work because you can do a rising witch time, so they don't get the ledge traps that they usually get versus most of the cast either. So you can just like thread in witch time, they'll stop doing the neutral B, and then you can just eventually jump from ledge and just dive kick over. Oh, also they cannot chase ABK or dive kick, like, at all. Like, they just can't. Like, they're too slow on the ground. So you can basically just move around them no matter what, and they don't really get any punish besides like a dash attack if they're lucky. Like if they get a dash attack, then okay, I guess. Like they read you or reacted really well and they got 10%, and then nothing happens because they send you to ledge and then they can't ledge trap you. It's scary when you're at death percent, but it takes a really long time to get to kill percent versus Game & Watch because they don't have a consistent damage output on Bayo. Because you also don't have to deal with their like up there like juggling that does 1,000,000% because you can either witch time it or dive kick over it. Yeah, exactly, pillow talk. They just kind of die eventually. Like you don't really have to do anything special either. Like it's not an unkillable character at all. Do Incineroar? Sure. Incineroar. I feel like Bayo wins, but the Incineroar players are... Incineroar is just very scary. But I think that, like, I've played against Skyjay. I played against Skyjay for like 2 hours at Ludwig's when we were just playing friendlies, and I just felt like this character is so forced to make a play to the point that it's like crippling. Like if you're ever in mid-range, they have to shield. They don't have anything else to do. Like they literally can't do anything else. They have to shield or make a decision right then and there on you not ABKing because they're just too tall, and their run animation doesn't go under ABK like most characters. Like good characters like Wolf, Sephiroth, Roy, good characters just kind of duck your ABK by dashing. Like they just duck their head low enough and you don't have to worry about it. But Incineroar, even if he's running, you just can swat him out of the air whenever you want, and he just kind of gets messed up because he can't land either after he gets hit up by anything. He has to land with a decision, like either a nair or a counter or like an air dodge, you know? He has to do something. So his disadvantage versus Bayo doesn't really end unless you like pussy out and you choose not to read his defensive options, which I do all the time. But I feel like if I play this matchup well, I would just win because he just is forced to make a decision first. And I feel like you can just dance around him with movement and stuff until you get something really good for free without even having to do anything. Like you can just dash around him and eventually he'll side B or like run up shield or jump in, and then you can just play off of that. Like you can just play for the second option and then get an opening, because I don't know, characters in this like ultimate meta that are forced to do something first are just not that good. And he's not very good at ledge either, and he's forced to run up shield all the time, so you can just F throw him. Like if you run up shields, just F throw him, and then he has to play out of the corner, and that character is not good at playing out of the corner because if he gets swatted, like if he double jumps and you swat the double jump, he could die, or if you 4-throw him again, he could die because he's at the ledge now and he's going to go off stage. and his recovery's not good versus Bayo either. So yeah, Bayo should win, but it's really scary. So a lot of Bayos, when they're playing against Incineroar, they'll just kind of like give him what he wants. Like they'll like Incineroar will approach them with shield, and they'll just ABK knowing that he's gonna shield it, and then they just eventually, at some point in their specials, they'll just eventually get hit, like landing lag, or like go to the ledge and then get hit off the ledge, stuff like that, and then you eventually lose. But if you just call it out, like if you just look at him, it's pretty obvious what he's gonna do, and then just punish him for it, and then you'll just win. I just feel like people get in their head about it, and they're like, oh my god, this scary guy's approaching me. Joker. Definitely losing. I just don't know how losing. It is really hard because you can't really ABK. Like you're not allowed to use Hi Kamona. Yeah, that's very true. When you play against Joker, you can't ABK because his hitbox just magically dodges it. Like his hurtbox, I mean. Like even if he's jumping, I don't really know. I haven't looked into it in particular, like specifically what his jump looks like. But I feel like no matter what you do, your ABK will miss him. Like if he full hops, he just rises a little too fast, or he like, I don't know, like turns into a ball when he's double jumping. Like no matter what I do, I just kind of feel like he dodges ABK by existing. And if you can't use ABK versus the top tier, then what are you supposed to do? You just end up down tilting. And Bayo's not a good character unless the other person's forced to deal with ABK, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I can down tilt, but who the fuck cares, right? Like there's Steve in this game, and Bayo's just sitting on the ground down tilting, and that's what you're gonna lose to. Like, it just doesn't really make much sense to me. I feel like if Jokers didn't all start the game with this like onus of either like, oh, I need to like avoid the fuck out of Bayo, or I need to get in on Bayo. Like that's how I feel like it feels versus every Joker player. They're either thinking like, oh, like I need to approach her because reasons, and then they just run up, commit, and then take 70% for doing something that would have gotten them 20% as a reward, and then you win. Or they just run away from you the entire time, and that's not how the game works, and then they just lose because that's not how the game works. But if Joker's just, I don't know, took the game at like face value, I feel like I would just lose, you know? Like if they just kind of like played in my mid-range and baited me to go in and just forced out my options, because I have like two options. I have down tilt and like nair, and if they just like waited them out and then like wait out the next thing, like he can just stay in your range with where he can hit you but you can't hit him, and he can do that forever because his character is like not actually hittable. I keep saying that, but like it's true. Like you can't hit him. He just, everything will magically miss. Like I was playing Ned's Joker the other day, and it's not that good of a Joker. Like it's not his main or anything, but I would just like throw out hitboxes just to see if maybe something would hit, and it would just magically miss every single time. Every single time. I was like, how is that even possible? Like I would ABK, I would heal slide, I would like run up dash tap, and every time something would just miss, and I'd be like, but you're right there. Like the character's hurtbox shifting is like criminal. So I just, yeah. Even though Bayo does way more damage than him per hit and stuff like that, and she can edgeguard him, like, it's true, like she can edgeguard Joker, but it's just such a character gap, really. That's what it is. Like technically Bayo should win or go even, like if you just look at the kits, but then if you just like watch a Bayo play against a Joker, it's just like, wow, their character is so much fucking better. That's just how I feel. And Arsene ledge trapping isn't fair. Like even Bayo can't get away from it. That's just crazy. Like, yeah, you can get Arsene gone with one combo, but it's like, who the fuck cares? Their character is so much better. And Joker is really good at falling out of Bayo combos if they have good SDI. It's just that no Joker players try to SDI besides Leo. So they just take all the damage and then it's over. But if Joker falls out of an up B and you don't catch it, or you can't catch it sometimes you just can't punish their fallout, then it's like the fastest character ever, and now you have landing lag and you are going to get punished, and it really blows. It's called pay to win, yeah, basically. Alright, do Pikachu? Sure. Pikachu is here too. I don't think it's impossible because the character like is just like the character is like based around like grab combos, and Bayo has bats, So this character is never going to grab Bayo and do 40%. Like, it's never going to happen. And if you're forced to play around grab because your character is kind of like an outdated character where you have like, I don't know, it's kind of like the same thing as Pichu. Like, you're eventually just like, you're forced to fight with your body, and if you're forced to fight with your body, you have to interact with Bayo's big limbs and stuff, and then eventually you're going to get spaced out and get clipped by something, and then this character doesn't really have good landing options either, or disadvantage options. Like, if you down tilt a Pikachu and let's say it's like a tipper down tilt, right? So you don't get anything. They still have to land, but they don't have anything to land with. Like, they can't land with Nair. That's not really how it works. They're just going to get hit by the same thing they were going to hit by anyway. And they can't land with like down air or air dodge. Like, it's really punishable. And then their double jump isn't that good because, again, they have nothing to land with. So if you like just poke them, just pop them up into the air with anything, what are they going to go down with? Like, they're just so tiny and frail. Like, if they jump out of anything, they just have to sit there for like 1 second thinking like, okay, how the fuck am I gonna land, right? And if they could land with like quick attack, but that's not like, there's no reversals, there's no threats. So once you like pop Pikachu up, you can just start swinging and nothing bad's gonna happen to you. So eventually this character is gonna get hit by Bayo, and this character is actually pretty easy to combo with Bayo because they're like a big circle. Like, it's kind of hard to miss moves on them. So, and they're light, so they can't really SDI hard down like Fox or like Diddy type thing and just get out by going really, really down and being heavy and being fast faller. So they don't really have an out on combos. They're going to get hit by most things. Like, they're not going to die, but they're going to take the damage that they don't want to take. And then once they're at like 100, it can be really hard to kill Pikachu, sure, but it's easier for Bayo to get Pikachu to 100 than Pikachu to get Bayo to 100. And Pikachu has a hard time killing too. They just have a slightly easier time because they have dash attack, but I don't think Pikachu is like that great versus Bayo because they have to use their body to fight you and they have to get grabs, and Bayo is really good at playing anti-grab, and also her air-to-air like destroys Pikachu. Like, if Pikachu presses anything like a short hop back or a short hop forward or anything and you ABK, it's not even a trade, you just slice literally right through it and then you start hitting them. So if you know what Pikachu's going to do, you shouldn't lose. It's just that sometimes Pikachus can play really slow and really grounded, and if they play in like a really, really good range where you're kind of forced to swing first to like keep them out of your like zone, then they can like get stuff going, but they're never going to get that much going. It's not a punishing matchup. It's just, if you don't have the patience to deal with it, eventually you'll lose for sure. Pikachu is just the better character, but it's not that hard. Yeah, the kits, there's nothing like about Pikachu that screams like Bayo counter, you know, like they don't have that much. They still take a ton of damage and they're really light, and they're not that great at getting off the ledge either. A lot of things they do are they're forced to quick attack because they don't have many other OP options, and then if you just like read one quick attack with a witch time or like an F smash or a heal slide, something like long lasting and punishing, they're kind of fucked, because if you witch time Pikachu after like 70, like anywhere on the stage, they'll probably just die. Also, their little like Thunder Jolt gameplay doesn't really work either because of witch time. Do Aegis? Sure. Where are they? Are they called Pyramithra or something? What do they call them? Pyramithra. Okay. I used to put this impossible, but I think it's just slight disadvantage now. I played Spargo a lot at Ludwig's, and I've just been watching a lot of people play against them too, and I just don't think it's that bad, because like they just die so easily. Like, if you just like down tilt a Mithra or a Pyra and just do fair 1 2 3 at like 50%, and you get them kind of in the corner and in the air, I feel like 85% of Aegis players just somehow find a way to die after that. Like, this character just struggles a lot versus Bayo when they get popped up, because they can't really fight their way down either. Like, if you put Mithra at disadvantage, she can't fight her way down, so she's forced to pick defensive options a lot, and that can be really taxing. Like, if they pick the wrong one, they get a hard punish. Like, let's say you I don't know, let's say you up throw a Mithra like center stage, right, at like 50, and you just like read that they're gonna double jump, and you just start hitting their double jump with like an up air or something. Now they have no double jump, and you just sent them like near the corner, and they're just kind of like, they have to pick either air dodge or fight their way back down, and then they just die for it. Like, this character, if you make the wrong decision, you just die. And it's really hard to know what the right decision is if you're not really good at, like, the game, basically. Like if I play Chase or Spargo's Aegis, they're not going to die that often, but it's because they're picking the option where they're going to live no matter what. Like, if I up throw them, they'll, like, air dodge down behind me or something. And because it's, like, the only thing you can do, where if I read it, you won't die. But then it just becomes really predictable. Like, this character doesn't have that many routes to life, like, when they're disadvantaged. They have, like, one or two, and if you get how the character works, you can just kind of agree with yourself in your head. You're like, okay, well, they're not going to jump because they die if they jumped. So they have to do this. So I'm just going to punish it. So this character just takes a lot of damage, like, a lot of damage. And even though you would think that they wouldn't because they have, like, foresight and they're, like, a fast faller and stuff, just the routes that they have, they're forced to take at a disadvantage, they just take a ton of damage. And then if they get hit wrong, they just die because they're forced to up B to recover versus Bayo. They're either forced to up B with either character, or they're forced to do the double jump side B as Pyra. And that's really bad, because if they can't threaten the side B at least a little bit, then they just are going to get fucked off stage. Like, they can't do it because of ABK bullets. Like, if you ever send them off stage kind of weird, like kind of wonky, with like a back air or an F smash, they can't do double jump side B because you just ABK bullets it and they instantly die. They can't dodge it. So they have to go low, and then if they go low, it's really obvious, and you just meet them down there with a B, and then they die. Or they have to do a double jump side B with Pyra, and if you witch time it, because it's like they're one of their two options, they just die. So yeah, I don't know. If they're disadvantaged, they're really forced to pick options a lot more than any other top tier. That's for sure. Like, this top tier, you can actually hit them. And then even though it's like a hard matchup because you get oppressed and stuff, they're still forced to get in on you with, like, stuff. Like, they're forced to deal with Bayo's down tilt, which isn't that big of a deal versus, like, Joker, right? Because if you down tilt Joker, who the fuck cares, right? He's probably just going to Hertzbox shift away if you don't get the perfect hit, or, like, not take that much damage. But if you down tilt them, they're gonna get fucked, and that's a really big deal. Like, being able to hit a top tier, you get so much momentum, especially with Bayo, and then they don't get to play the game for a really long time, and then they just don't really feel like that threatening after that. You know, if you can play with confidence versus them because you're like, well, if I hit you, you're gonna get fucked, then it just feels not that bad to play. It doesn't feel that bad. There's a lot of checkmate situations, and 90% of the time she's forced to double jump. Yeah, they don't have good options out. Like, Mithra, the fact that Mithra has to nair at a disadvantage is bad because it doesn't beat ABK. You can just ABK it, or, like, whiff punish it with heal slide or something. They're forced to do stuff that can just get hard punished often. I'm talking about the good parts of the matchup, but also Pyra has really good ledge trapping on Bayo, it's true, and Mithra like juggles the fuck out of Bayo as well, and they can ledge trap her really well even as Mithra because they have, like, transcendent hitboxes. So even if you try to do, like, weird stuff off the ledge, like up B or ABK, it'll just lose to, like, a Pyra or, like, a Mithra F tilt or down tilt. So they get a lot of damage on Bayo as well. It's just that they don't have a way to kill Bayo. They have to kill Bayo with, like, a Pyra ledge trap, but those are, like, coin tosses. There's no way to, like, do a Pyra ledge trap, like, right where you're gonna kill her, because you have to swing first. You can't swing reactively because Bayo has unreactable burst options off the ledge. So it's just not that bad. And also, Pyra can't juggle Bayo because her up air is so slow that you can literally bats it on reaction if you want to. It's like, if you have good enough reaction time. Like, I can just, like, when I played Spargo, when I was on the ledge versus Pyra, I would just ledge jump, double jump, and then go to center stage, and then I would just, like, fall down, and every time he up-aired me, I would react, and I would just bats it, and I would go under him, and I would punish him. So it's like, they don't have guaranteed stuff on Bayo. They don't have, like, a flow chart that they can put you in besides, like, Mithra early percent advantage state, obviously. But besides that, they don't have, like, a plan. They have to kind of outplay you if they want to win. So I would put them here. Like, neutral sucks. It sucks. But if you win it, then you get so much more than them. Alright, Peach. I wish Bayo won, but she doesn't. Ugh, I thought Bayo won for a really long time, but playing Mutace, it's just too fucking hard. Like, it's just too hard. The character doesn't die, like, ever. Like, you just can't freaking kill them. I don't know. Like, obviously it's Mutace, and he's like a top whatever player, like top 5 or 10 or whatever, and it's disgusting and horrible to play against. But when I play against him, I just don't feel like there's a way to kill the character. Like, Bayo has a really good damage output on Peach in comparison to Peach on her. And, like, Bayo's more accessible to put the damage down and stuff like that. And then you'll get Peach, like, 90, 100, and you'll still be at, like, 20, and it feels like it's a good thing. But they just never die. Bayo's, like, intrinsically just, like, a committal character, and Peach is just too good versus committal characters. Like, if you have to pick the first option versus Peach ever, she'll just, like, magically avoid it with, like, some stupid float maneuver, or just like holding shield or rolling or something, or counter hitting you, because they have like really fast counter hits. So like Peach is just too hard to kill, really. Like, you have to guess right. Like, it feels like 3 times in a row. Like, you have to like guess right on a roll, and then you have to grab the roll, and then you have to like put them in the air, and then you have to read their option in the air, and then like you hit them off stage, and then maybe if you got them off stage without a jump, then you can maybe edgeguard them if you like read the side B. It just feels like impossible. Like, playing Mutace, I'm just like, are you ever gonna fucking die? And then he doesn't, and then eventually he just tit for tats you, and then you're at 100 and he's at 170, and you're actually losing because you don't have any straight hits that'll kill, but he does, and then you just lose. So I feel like this matchup is just not that good for like Bayo, to the point where you win, because neutral is pretty easy, and Bayo is really good at playing around turnip, because you can just short up, you can just spam there and it'll catch the turnip, or it'll beat the turnip out like a sword. So you aren't losing if she gets turnip, and you aren't losing if you're just in neutral with her, and you shouldn't really get hit by strong hits. Like, Peach should have to overextend into your bubble if she wants to get like a really good hit on you. So you should be like doing more damage than her, having priority in neutral and stuff like that. It just takes like a read. You need to be better than them to get the kill, because otherwise like none of it, what you just did, matters basically. Like, F throwing Peach doesn't do anything, and her side B is actually really good at recovering versus Bayo, because you kind of, there's not really a place you can go to cover side B and up B at the same time, so you have to thread on one or the other. And you can't witch time to side B either, because of that weird interaction where it just like hits your witch time, bounces off of it, and then nothing happens because there's no hitbox. So you have to like perfectly space like a backer or up B under it, and that's really hard to do, because they can just kind of recover reactively versus you, and Bayo struggles with that a lot. Artevis, thank you for the prime. I hate how I can be an advantage for 30 seconds and not kill her, but then she gets one hit. Yeah, she's just really good at versus Bayo, because Bayo's neutral isn't that good at higher percents, and she just has all the tools to abuse it. Bowser Jr., okay. Real Steel. Okay. Which one should I do? Wait. Hey, are the Bowser Jr. kids not on here? Oh, but they'll have every Steve ult, but there's no Bowser Jr. kids. Where's fucking Wendy? That is so dumb. Okay. Pay to win. I'm probably just going to put this in, like, it's either really easy or slight advantage. Like, Bowser Jr. should never get, like, the up air strings or the up throws on Bayo, because she can just jump backwards and then nothing should ever hit her, and then she can just go back in with, like, an ABK. And Bowser Jr.'s advantage or disadvantage state is really bad, and I don't know exactly how it works, but I feel like he should not be able to side beyond a stage versus Bayo ever. Like, I definitely think Bayo beats Bowser Jr. harder than she beats these 3 characters, so I'm going to put it in really easy. This character just feels, like, incomplete. I don't really have much else to say about that. I mean, their ledge trapping, or, like, 2 of their most important things are, like, things that just instantly lose to witch time. Like, their little, like, Mecha Koopa and the neutral B, or whatever, like, it just feels bad. Like, I know it's not like integral to his kit, but like you're like not a good character, and then you have those 2 things that are kind of cool and potent and help you out, and then Bayo just turns it on them and is like, oh, this doesn't work here. And their disadvantage state is so bad, and they are like always forced to interact first. And also, this is another character that's kind of like Incineroar, where you can't play neutral well in the ground, because no matter what you do, you can get ABK'd like on top of your head, because like you can't dash under it. Like, their hurtbox is just so fucking huge that they can't really dodge things, So, you know, it's just not a good character. I don't know. But also, they do hit Bayo kind of hard. And they have good ledge trapping versus Bayo because of their really big aerials and the F smash. But it's like, who cares? Like, how are you going to get Bayo on the ledge? I feel like if Bayo doesn't feel like going to the ledge, they won't go to the ledge. I mean, the character is good versus Bayo if they have a lead, but it's like, how are you going to get a lead on Bayo if you can't really hit your combo starters because she's just like flying around all over the place? I don't know, it's just not a good character. Yeah, and he struggles to recover a lot. Okay. R.O.B. Okay, let's do R.O.B. I'll put it here. I'm really bad versus R.O.B because my playstyle is not that good at like oppressing characters. Like, I do a lot of like mind games and stuff instead that kind of like leads to kills. But versus R.O.B, you have to really like oppress him. Like, you can't really, if you give him an opportunity to like 50-50 his way out of disadvantage, then he'll take it every single time because the character lives for so long. And like, yeah, I don't know. Every time I try to play against a R.O.B and I try to play like myself, I just lose because I try to read things that they're not even like, they don't even fucking care about, you know? Like, I'll try to get in their head about like a landing or a ledge option or something, and they just really don't give a fuck about me, and all they're thinking about is like how there's a 50-50 and how they're going to instantly just pick a random option because they don't care, and if it works they're going to get positioning advantage or they're going to get back to neutral, and that's all that matters is because they live for forever. And I don't know, the character's just really annoying. The character lives for a really, really long time if you don't like perfectly oppress him. Like, I want to put it in even, but I know from like talking to Tamim and talking to Mutes and like just talking about the game and talking with Anathema too. I've been working on this matter for a really freaking long time because I just don't get it. And I get that why my problem with it is that I don't understand how to like perfectly like oppress characters. Like, I struggle a lot with kind of getting into their perspective, like their point of view, and being like, oh, they can't do anything here but air dodge. Like, if they try to, like, if I'm a R.O.B and I'm like, oh, I can't even nair here because if I nair, they're gonna hit me before it comes out because it starts behind me. So then I have to air dodge because I can't nair. And then like someone else would punish it because like they would understand that. They'd understand like, oh, R.O.B can't do anything here. Just swing, or right now, just swing. Nothing bad will happen. But you have to do that like perfectly, and you can't really like let up on it for the majority of the game. Like, if you're playing against R.O.B, you have to be like a machine. Like, you have to punish everything, and you can't give him room to do anything. Because if R.O.B ever has more than one option, then you're just gonna lose. Like, because you gave him an option that you can't predict every time, and then he'll get at a disadvantage with it, and then he'll either do like a fastball air dodge or like a fastball neutral air, and you have to read which one, and then they'll just get back to neutral, and then neutral's really hard for Bayo sometimes because of the gyro being like super OP. Like, I feel like gyro is like so OP versus Bayo, the fast one, because it catches your dash and it beats your ABK, and it's really good shield pressure that doesn't have a punish. Like, if you shield gyro, there's not a punish. So you're both just sitting there looking at each other, and now your shield is lowered. And if you dash back, it'll catch your dash back. So you're kind of just forced to shield a lot if R.O.B has gyro. And then if you get hit by the gyro, you have to tech, and then they hit you with the laser, and then you take like 35%. And yeah, it kind of feels like Snake for me because I'm not that good at the matchup, where you just kind of take damage for like existing. Like, you just kind of breathe, and oh my god, what just happened? I just took like 35%. And then if that happens 2 more times, you're just dead to like anything, and then it's really hard to play. But Bayo should definitely win. Bayo does a lot of damage. She edge guards him, she ledge traps him, and R.O.B ledge traps her too, and R.O.B has a decent chance in neutral. And he has a good advantage on Bayo, in my opinion, in general. Like, he does a lot of damage, and his grab is really strong versus Bayo. Like, you can't really fight him up close because Bayo's spot dodge is like frame 6 or 5 or something really slow, and his frame data up close is so good that a lot of time he can just grab you in situations like skirmishes and stuff, and you can't do anything about it. Like, your spot dodge is too slow to come out, your fastest move is up B, which is frame 6, and it's also too slow to come out, and you just kind of get option selected when you're fighting him up close. You can't do anything, and he can grab you a lot of situations. And the only out is up B. Like, if you run up down tilt to your shield, the only thing you can do is up B. Like, if you, like, try to roll away or try to roll in, they can literally stop down tilting, react to it, and, like, run up and grab you. Or, like, just dash attack you or something and punish you. Like, you can only up B, and then he can just shield it, and then up out a shield, and then punish you. Like, if he plays better than you, or really better than you, he'll win. Or if you just don't play it perfectly. If Bayo plays it perfectly, she shouldn't lose, but I'm struggling a lot with playing it perfectly. This character's really demanding to play against. But Bayo should win, so I'm like one of the only characters that win, so I should not complain. I'll figure it out. That character, just, I could go on and on about that character. I don't get it. Bowser Jr. has lots of ways to cover both high and low ledge options. I think walking displaces a lot of her spacing, and up smash is really good versus her. Plus she dies at 60 with rage. Yeah, but that's all based on, like, Bayo making mistakes. Like, Bayo should never die at 60 to Bowser Jr. if she's, like, spacing well and, like, just kind of, like, waiting. And also, Bowser Jr.'s side B is too slow versus characters like ZSS and Bayo that can just kind of, like, jump around it. I don't know. I just don't think that's realistic. But I get what you mean. Like, yeah, if you guys are both playing it, like, 80%, I feel like Bayo would, like, not win easily. But I feel like if Bayo's playing the matchup right, I don't think she should lose. And I know really easy is, like, a stretch, but I just really don't think that Bayo beats Bowser Jr. less than she beats these guys. Like, these are, like, hard ones, but you win. But this one is, like, not as hard. So I put him there. Wii Fit. Okay. This is also really easy. Like, Wii Fit doesn't get to use deep breathing versus Bayo because you can just dive kick over her head and just circle camp her until it goes away because she's not fast enough to reach you. So, like, they can't do anything with that. And then their neutral B is so bad versus Bayo, doesn't do anything really. And when Wii Fit is off stage, which is, like, all the time, she can't do anything. She just gets hit. Like, there's no options. Like, the character's just always on the back foot, and they're losing a neutral too because they're super tall, so they have to hard read your ABK to punish it. And if you don't ABK, they're still forced to respect it, because if they ever get hit by ABK and they get hit by, like, up B for 1-2-3, they just can't land at all. Like, they have no landing options from anywhere but below them. Like, if you hit Wii Fit in the air and then you're not directly below her, you can just start swinging, because what is she gonna do, forward air you? It doesn't really work, and she takes forever to land, like, forever to land. And Witch Time destroys her off stage too for kills. Like, you couldn't just, like, from, like, 0 to, like, 70, you don't have to Witch Time. You can just, like, start hitting her and then hit her again. Like, she can't fight back off stage really. The only thing she has, I play Varun all the time, or, like, I've played Varun a lot, and I just feel like the character just should not win. Especially because the only thing the character can really do versus good characters is hit, like, crazy Nair combos or, like, conversions and stuff like that. But you can't jump onto Bayo. Like, that's not really how the game works. Like, Bayo's not on a character you can just jump onto with, like, whatever the fuck you want, because unless you're, like, Roy or something, she'll just look at you and be like, what the fuck is this dumbass doing? And then you just up-B them and they die. Like, Bayo has, like, every single tool to, like, make Wii Fit not matter. As long as you don't get outplayed really hard on the ground, you shouldn't lose to this character, like, ever. People just lose because of matchup inexperience. They don't know when to swing, when to not swing. The character struggles a lot versus, like, ground camping players that kind of just, like, ice you out until it's time to interact, and then they interact with you one time and you get hit by one Bayo down tilt and you just take, like, 1,000,000,000%. And also Wii Fit, it feels like no matter how good you SDI, you're not going to escape a combo because they're just so tall and floaty. Poor Wii Fit. Palutena. Okay, let's do Palutena. It's either even or slight disadvantage, but it's probably not slight disadvantage. It's probably even. Palutena is also really tall, so she has to deal with Bayo's ABK a lot, but she's just really fucking fast. Like, she can kind of bait you into, like, ABKing, and then you think that it's gonna hit, and then she literally, like, dashes out at, like, the speed of fucking light, and, like, you'll be ABKing and she'll be running with your ABK and she's literally faster than it, and then she just, like, whiff punishes you. And it just kind of feels like there's nothing that she doesn't have an answer to. But neutral's really hard for her because you can't just run a Bayo with Nair. You have to, like, outplay Bayo to get next to her in the first place and then Nair. And she does do good with Nair. Like Bayo, even with bats and stuff, you're gonna take 40% and stuff like that and go to ledge. And she's actually pretty good versus Bayo at ledge because her down tilt is really good versus up B, and like Pal's hits are really meaty. Like if you get hit by like a jab when you're trying to jump off ledge, it's a lot of damage, and then you have to take like 10 seconds to get back to ledge again. And then if you get back aired, like when you roll, you have to take a ton of time to get back to stage again. And it just kind of feels like the momentum and like course of the game is kind of decided by Palu, and you're just trying to out damage her in interactions to like keep up. But Palu shouldn't be really getting hit by like up tilt back air that much, or like getting witch timed, because okay, what the fuck am I even saying? Girl, Bayo fucking loses. I forgot. Like, I'm just thinking about Louis money for a second, and I was like, yeah, like that doesn't seem losable. But when I play Chag, who actually knows how Bayo works, oh my god, it's actually hell. Like every single game is like 5 minutes, and then I lose. Like it takes fucking forever because Palu doesn't have to commit ever because she's too fucking fast, and you can't just run at her. Like you can't run at Palu and force an interaction because she literally is twice as fast as you. So what Chag would do is he would literally just camp outside of my range for fucking ever and just not do anything. And then if I ever dashed up, he would literally like react with like a dash attack. Like he would just reactively dash attack me and then force me to land. And she can actually do good versus Bayo when she if Bayo can't land for free versus this character ever, and Bayo can't really get off the ledge versus this character for free either. Like, she forces you to do a bunch of stuff where she can like get damage. She's not like super threatening, it's just Palu, right? Like she's not going to kill you or anything, but she doesn't get hit. And she doesn't struggle with landing versus Bayo either, because she has Nair for like an offensive landing option that eats everything except up air and ABK. It eats everything else that you do, and she can just fastball air dodge, obviously, and then if you try to swing on her with like an ABK or a heel slide and you miss, then you take another chunk of damage. And she can also counter. Like if you're out of her range, I would just ABK because I was like, okay, I'll ABK, and if they air dodge, fuck, I guess, right? But at least there's pressure. And then he just started countering me, and I was like, oh, like you have that option too? Like he has so many. This character has a lot of defensive options, like a ton. And then she has that one really fast, like unreactable option with dash tag, and it just felt impossible to play Chag. Oh my god, because he knows how Bayo works, and I feel like if Palu actually knows exactly what Bayo wants to do and just decides to lame her out, she can just win. Bayo also struggles a lot with dealing with like explosive flame and neutral B camping, because you're kind of forced to commit if you ever want to like punish it. Like you have to full hop at her or run at her for the explosive flame, so they can kind of condition you to commit by keeping you in that range where you're dealing with like the projectiles for a really long time, and then you just commit one time and they're like, oh, you were wrong, like you took a bad fight again, and then you just take a bunch of damage again. Like characters should never really have to interact with you, which really sucks. And she also never dies ever. Like there's no way to kill Palutena. She should not get hit by up to back air, she should not get F thrown at the ledge, she should not die recovering. And in grounded neutral, you're not going to kill her because she'll never be next to you. She'll always keep you in like back air distance because she's just that much faster. But also maybe I just suck. But I play this matchup a lot, and I play Palu myself. Not well, but I play Palu myself, and I just don't really get what I'm doing wrong when I play Chag. But these are like one of my top 5 people I really don't want to fucking play against in bracket because it is so lame and you just like can't really do anything. Oh my god, when I tweet this, it's going to be so annoying. People are going to be like, actually, like, the Palu matchup's not that bad. You just have to play for this and that. Like, no. Like, there's a Palu matchup, which is even, and then there's a Chag matchup, which is this, and that's why this is going here. Okay, hero. This is probably just really easy. This character is fucking dog shit. This character is kind of like... Hi, Vivid. This character is just forced to like try to cheese you, and they have like half as many times to look at menu as they do versus most characters because Bayo's so fast and corny, and they have no options at a disadvantage, so they just take like 70% and then go to ledge, and then if they're off stage they get edge guarded because they can't fight back. I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong. Actually I wouldn't, but this character sucks. I played against Beast Mode Paul, and I think he's the best hero in America, and I just 3-stocked him, and then the next game he immediately just went Sephiroth, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, I was just kind of like pressing buttons, and I won, and I was like, okay, this fucking sucks, I guess. I don't know. That character's not it. Fox? Okay, let's do Fox. This is definitely one of Bayo's first matchups. I used to think it was like, where did you go? What the fuck just happened? Where did Fox go? Hello? What, left top? Oh, okay. So Fox is... He's probably... Okay, I should probably just delete this row. I don't think that Bayo is like this kind of character anymore. I haven't played Light yet. Like, I haven't played him in bracket. I played him last year in friendlies a bit, but I watched how other people deal with Fox, and I don't think Bayo can't do that. Like, I watched how people deal with like Fox's pressure, like Shattuck and Mide, so I've watched them play against Light, and I've given them like advice and stuff on how I think they should do it. And I feel like I get Fox, and I don't think Bayo can't do that. Like, I don't think Bayo is that bad at icing out Fox's offense, and I think she gets pretty good rewards off of it. I just think you have to play, or I think you have to use the right moves. There's a lot of moves like ABK and Heel Slide where you can hit them with it and nothing's going to happen. Like, you're not going to get any advantage state or anything because they'll tech it and stuff like that. But I feel like if you're really good at spacing and you use the parts of the move that aren't going to get you fucked, and you are really in tune with like Bayo, and you know like, oh, I can't even do this because I'm going to get punished if I hit it, like type thing, like you really need to know what you can use. And Fox shouldn't get edgeguarded that much by Bayo because his recovery is actually really good. I played Light in doubles at Let's Make Moves, and I was like, wow, I can't actually edgeguard this character that well at all. So I don't think that the character's disadvantage is that bad, but I don't think Bayo struggles that much with campy Fox because taking out space versus Fox is really threatening. Like, if Fox tries to laser you and like ground camp you and you take up center stage, then it's kind of threatening to him. Like, it's not that threatening, but because he's light, if you kind of stuff his dash into you or call out a defensive jump in the corner with like an ABK, then I think you can get a lot of stuff started. It's all theory crafting still for me, because I mean, I beat Mega Fox or whatever, right? Who the fuck cares? But I've played against some Foxes here and there, and I don't struggle. But also, you have to be really good at Fox. Like, there's not really a Fox matchup, there's just a Light matchup once you get to a certain skill level, because everyone else is just not that good at Fox at all. So this is just me thinking about Light and how it would go. It's definitely not even, but I don't think it would just be possible. I think I would be like around here, because he does have a bad disadvantage state. He takes a lot of damage, and it's not that great of a game plan. Like, Fox's game plan in general is kind of like ground camp, and then once they get in your range, before they're ready to like fight back, just jump onto them with something. Like, jump onto them with like a nair or like a down air, and then like fight from there with like pressure. You can't really jump onto Bayo that well. Like I said that earlier, you can't really do that, but Fox is able to anyway because he's just so fast that you can't really set up in time to counter it. But there's answers. Like, you can always call out his full hops with ABK, and if it misses, you can just go to the ledge, and his ledge play versus Bayo is not that good because you can up B his nairs. So you can just like drop ledge up B to punish him like trying to nair your neutral getup and stuff like that. So he's forced to play around Bayo because their hitboxes are bigger than his, and she can fight back from the ledge. So you can just go for like educated guesses on his neutral and then fight at a ledge if you're wrong. My thing versus Fox is like, I think the way to fight Fox is he's so fast that the only way you can even keep up movement wise, neutral wise, and stuff like that is by like constantly predicting what he's going to do. Like, constantly, every single like 5 seconds, be like, oh, I have a feeling he's going to jump and then do this, this, and this, Or like I have a feeling this time he's gonna like dash back and then like dash in with like a shield. You have to read it, and then you're still not gonna win neutral. You have to read what he's gonna do, position for what you think he's gonna do only, and then play neutral from there. But if you try to cover everything at once, you're just gonna lose because he's way too fast. Like if you try to position in a way where it's like, oh, you can't dash tag me and you can't jump on me, or I'm gonna try to like shield your up smash, you're just gonna get stuck. Like if you try to do coverage options versus light and neutral, you'll just get stuck. But if you try to predict what he's gonna do, then any character can still kind of play the game versus Fox. Like, and since Bayo has such hard punishes, the fact that she can have an option, that means that I don't think it's that bad. Like, if you're wrong, you just take the 20% you're going to take anyway if you try to play neutral any other type of way, you know? But at least kind of playing off of hard reads, soft reads, and neutral gives you a chance. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. I want to play him soon because I have a feeling that I wouldn't get destroyed. Like, I think that my idea of how Fox works is right, but I have to test it out. How's the stream going? It's going good. Yeah, Fox is really light. Like, he's susceptible to reads. He can die. He can definitely die. It's just hard. Yeah, Fox has a good advantage state on Bayo, but like, he has a good advantage state on everyone, so it doesn't really matter. You know, like, we all know that Fox is going to blender all of us, but the fact that he has to jump into Bayo to get a kill with like a Nair or like something like that means that the matchup isn't impossible. Like the fact that he has to commit to get a kill means there's always going to be an opening where you can do something. So it's possible. It's better than possible, in my opinion. All right, Pac-Man. It's low-key even. Low-key, if I play T, I'm going to win versus his Pac-Man. I'm going to stay out of his range of the fair bullshit, and I'm going to get an ABK eventually one day, and then I'm going to get a 50% lead, and then I'm going to catch a fruit, and I'm going to time him out. I promise. I promise. I think if Bayo gets the first stock versus Pac-Man, she should win. But it's really hard to get that first stock, so I don't think it's like a winning matchup. But if Bayo gets the first stock, she should win. I promise I'm going to time out T when I play him. I promise. I promise. Like, I'm not, like, I can't wait to play this kid. Like, he thinks he has it all figured out. No, like, I figured it out. I'm going to win. But we're not there yet. That's like a couple months from now. One day I'll get T in my bracket. When T switches to Kazuya, I'll time out the Kazuya. Like, there's no projectiles. Like, no, like, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I had my whole, like, Pac-Man fucking killing the game depression arc for a while because Rocky came to my region, and that's just kind of what Rocky does. But I figured it out, and I understand how to beat bad Pac-Mans for sure. I would never lose to Pac-Man that isn't T because every other Pac-Man is stupid, and they don't know how to actually play the game. But T actually knows how to play the game, but I know how to play the game better. Like, I would win. I just need to try it. The thing about Pac-Man is he gets a lot of damage if you take a step towards him, but you don't have to. So, like, you don't have to take a step towards him. Bloom got ended by T because Bloom's playstyle isn't good versus Pac-Man. Bloom is too aggressive. There's a different way to do it. This character does a lot of damage versus Bayo with like Galaga and forward air and like grab, like up throw up air and stuff like that. But their ledge trapping is not that good. It could be way better. And they don't like Pac-Man players, it can make Pac-Man look dumb because they're always fighting out of the corner and it's working. Like, Pac-Man will be like in disadvantage or whatever, and they'll just down air out of the corner, or like while landing, or they're forward air out of the corner, or they'll just dash attack. And you can look at it and be like, oh, that's like really dumb. Why is my camera there? You can look at it and be like, oh, that's really dumb. That looks like, that's so unfair. Like, why can't you fight it? But I think that they're kind of forced to do that. I don't think that the character is allowed to pick passive options because, like, they're kind of fighting for tempo all the time. Like, you can't really stand still as Pac-Man in disadvantage because I don't think the character functions like that. It's just my I don't know how else to explain it. But I think that the Bayo is one of the really good characters as a Pac-Man because you can dash out of, like, his forward air range and then go back in instantly with, like, a really easy ABK punish. Like, or if he's down airing or hydrating, you can pressure him from the side with ABK. He can't swing at you with like anything else. Like, that's not really how the character works. Like, you can just go to the side of him when he's landing, and you should get like a punish or force an air dodge or something. And I just don't think hydrant's that big of a deal either, honestly. Like, it's like annoying for sure, but the fact that he has to like fight you to set it up is what makes Pac-Man not that good versus Bayo. You can't just like be playing neutral and just being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna hydrant. You know, that's why they're always fighting, because they have to set up. They forward air you and they're doing it to get you away from them, and then they set up. But if you just never take that fight, they can't really do anything that they want to do. I don't know. I think that if you just look at how Pac-Man works and you look at how Bayo works, I don't think Bayo should like lose the matchup. I think I get it, but maybe I'm just tripping. And also, all of Bayo's aerial bullets cancel out his side B. Like, if he tries to recover with side B, you can just like up air bullet it, nair bullets it, and if you cancel the side B, he can't side B again, and then you can like actually edgeguard him. There's a way to edgeguard this character. I just haven't labbed it that much because there's no Pac-Mans here, but I don't think Bayo should lose. There's definitely ways to push the advantage stay and stuff like that. And he can't really contest Bayo's air camping either, because he's a slow character. He really is slow, and he has flaws. They're just so masked by how strong the character is if you're forced to play into his game. But if you don't play into his game, it's not that bad, and Bayo doesn't have to do it. She can do her own thing. Sonic next? Okay. Let's see. It's definitely losing. I don't really know the matchup that well. I played Sonics for a couple hours here and there, and I talk about Sonic to him a lot. It definitely feels worse than these matchups. But I also don't want to be that guy. It's just like, oh, I lost to Sonic, so Bayo loses. But I don't know. The characters' combos are just all true, even on Bayo. Like, even on Bayo, everything is true. Like, up air into back air. No questions asked. Like, always. Like, there's so much leeway on those combos. It's crazy. And they can always, like, time their invincibility to go through my hitboxes no matter how big they are. Like, if I try to heal slide Sonic's spin dash, every single time he will just invincibility through it, beat me out, and then start comboing me. And I don't know how Bloom beat Pelly with Bayo, because Pelly is just not that good. Like, I watched that. It was awful gameplay. Sonics would never do those options at disadvantage state. And also, Sonics actually knows how to SDI. So it's not even like, oh, just get your hands on him, get the lead from like an early kill, and then win. You're not going to kill him early. Like, if you're actually good at the Bayo matchup, you're not going to die early as Sonic of all characters. You have too much movement. And Sonic does this thing where he'll side B my shield and then do like a side B jump, I believe, or something, and he goes at an angle past my shield jumping that I can't ABK. Like, when Sonic hits a lot of characters' shield, there's like RPS involved, like especially versus fast characters. Like, if you're Mythra, Fox, like Meta Knight maybe type thing, you can like chase him and force a fight, but he can side B your shield and then disengage, and you can't do anything. Like, there's not RPS a lot of the time, and Bayo's not fast enough to chase down Sonic in his disadvantage state and like force an interaction, so it just kind of feels like you're getting whittled away at all the time. And the only thing you can really do about it is like ground game mind games, like dash out, and then dash in down tilt type thing. Like, you kind of just like make it seem like you're gonna run away and then don't. But that's not really, like, everything that I think of with this character can just kind of be waited out. And it wouldn't be that bad. It would be kind of like a stalemate situation like it is versus like Game & Watch, right? So versus Game & Watch, neither of you interact much, and that's fine. And then you play from there, and you both have options because it's a stalemate, right? Or Peach, right? She'll just make it so that neither of you are interacting, and you just kind of go from there. It's not a bad thing. It's fine. It's like playable. But with Sonic, it's like you aren't winning if neither of you are doing anything. If you're playing against Sonic and you don't do anything because he's not doing anything, he's gonna run up jab you and then you have to deal with it, and you're not winning that situation. It's not a good situation to be in. And if he has you at ledge, oh my god, I have to show you guys something that's so messed up. So when Sonic has you at ledge and he's charging F Smash, look at this. So a charge frame is when you're charging a smash attack and it stops at a certain animation, and then when you let go of A, when you're charging a smash attack, it releases. So it'll be that much faster. So for example, his up smash is frame 14, right? And the charge frame is 10. So when he lets go of A, when he's charging up smash, it's a frame 4 move. Like he lets go of A and up smash starts in 4 frames. So you can never neutral get up, basically. He can just kind of react and let go. But his F smash is frame 18, which was a balance decision, right? Because it goes that freaking far down. Like this is freaking crazy. This is like healthily below, like if this is the ledge, this is the ledge. Girl, no. And the charge frame is 12. So that means when they're charging F smash and you're trying to recover, like with ABK or up B, they're just charging it, they're just holding it, and when they let go of A, it's a frame 6 F smash. So they can literally see you ABK and then just let go of A, and it's a true punish. Like you aren't like, it's not a timing mix up. They can just look at what you're doing and then let go. So when he has me at the ledge, I try to avoid this F smash, right, by going high, and he does this back air, and it's freaking 13 through 19. It's like a 6 frame back air, and all of it freaking kills you, and then, or puts you in the exact same situation you were in before, and then like he just charges F smash and he just lets go when you ABK, and it's just such a hard punish. Like it's really, really hard to deal with, because if you look at, like, Bayo has bad ones, but for example, my F smash frame 17, charge frame is 2. Like that's, do you see what I'm saying? Like Sonic's F smash is like a top tier charge frame. Like if let's look at a random other character, Corrin. So Corrin's F smash is frame 17, and the charge frame is, oh wait, that's a bad example. Wait, up smash frame 13, charge hold frame is 9. Wait, okay, but Corrin sucks. You get what I'm saying? Sonic should not have that charge frame, is all I'm saying. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like you shouldn't be able to let go of something that strong that fast, is all I'm saying. Like basically this character, when he has you in disadvantage state, there's true punishes and true like shit to do. Like you can't really not take damage. You're gonna take damage and you're gonna die, and if you ever get hit by this F smash at ledge and you're both on the same stock and you die at like 70, it's game over. Like because of the way this character works, if you get hit by something that wasn't even your fault, that's like that, you just die, it's over. Same with his down B to forward air combo that just like kills Bayo at like 60. If you get hit by it, it's over. So this character just has a lot of things that are like checkmate, and you don't really have anything that's checkmate. So you're kind of just playing the whole match hoping that they don't like completely fuck you up, and then maybe you can win. I hate it. And I don't want to put it here because that's like kind of a baby thing to do, but it is definitely harder than this shit. It is definitely harder than Wolf. It's definitely harder than Aegis and Palu, and like, I don't know about Fox. Maybe Fox could go there, and maybe Joker could go there, but this is definitely harder than all of them. What's a charge frame? I just explained it. It's just like when you're charging smash attack and there's an animation where you stop moving, that's the charge frame of your smash attack, and it starts from there when you let go of A. Alright, next character. Luigi. Okay. Bayo probably beats Luigi. You can just jump way too much, and the character has like really bad disadvantage options, and they play for grab, and Bayo denies that playstyle because she has too much movement. And the character is really bad at ledge. He has a hard time fighting out of ledge. He gets comboed really hard. And also, when you're comboing him, it's not even just for damage. Like, pretty much no matter how the combo goes, he's going to end up in a really bad state after. And then he has to fight out of there. Like, it's... And yeah, also Luigi players in general have a lot of bad habits and disadvantage. They don't know how to get out of it. But it's also because it's exhausting. Like, you have to like play it so smart every time you're disadvantaged, and that'll be like every 20 seconds versus Bayo. You have to like play it super smart or else you die. And Bayo edgeguards him really bad, and he doesn't ledge trap Bayo that well either because she doesn't have to neutral get up. Like, if you don't have to neutral get up versus character, if you can just jump and fight your way back down with like a dive kick or something, it's really bad. Like, for example, if Luigi does have good ledge trapping. Like, if he's ledge trapping like Mega Man, right? If you jump, he's just going to go up there and start hitting you like 4 million times in a row. And if you like neutral get up a roll, you have to start fighting Luigi. And if you try to shield and he grabs you, you die. Like, it's a really good situation for him. He can just fight you. But if he's versus Bayo, he doesn't get to do that. He doesn't have good ledge trapping or juggling or anything besides combo game, and you don't have to interact with that. Like, he just struggles so much with getting ground camped and air camped, and then you can just run up randomly, like run up shield, up throw him, and then he just like dies trying to land. Like, he just takes so much damage. I'm never gonna find that Mega Man. I see it right here. It's like so hard for this Luigi character. Like, and I beat Elegant before I even knew how to fight Luigi. Like, I played him and I was figuring it out as I went, and I was like, okay, this is really hard because you're a top player, but I feel like this isn't that bad. And I just kept playing it, and then I won. So after that, I don't think I would lose this character. Like, that's just not a good character. It's kind of an outdated character. But it's definitely not really easy because the character's grounded neutral is really good when he has the lead. Like, if he has the lead versus Bayo because he did get a random 0 to death or something like that, it's really hard to get the lead back because you have to commit into Luigi, and then it's really hard. But Luigi shouldn't be getting the lead. Can you do Yoshi? Sure. Yoshi is probably even, but because like he can play really good grounded neutral, and he has strong tilts that you can't really whiff punish, and he doesn't really get edge guarded by Bayo. He should, but he shouldn't, but he does. Like, his options off stage are actually really good, but I feel like Yoshi players just aren't very keen to what Bayo is doing, and they just kind of get fucked. But this character should not die off stage, like, almost ever, and they should live for a really long time, and you can't even shield poke them, so their shield is like a super, super good stalemate versus Bayo. I don't understand, like, I'll play against Yoshi players, and they'll shield, and then they'll drop shield and get hit by like a back air or something, and I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, why don't you just hold shield? Your shield is literally unpokeable. Like, why are you doing that? And I'll up throw Luigi player, or Yoshi player, sorry, and they'll just immediately jump, trying to like escape a combo. There's no combo there, so why are you using your frame 1 escape option? And then they'll try to land, and then they just get ABK'd and they die because they have no jump and they're super floaty and they just use their 1 combo escape. So I feel like if I played against a smart Luigi player, I would not find it easy. But I just think they all have such bad habits, and I just don't think any Yoshi player is good besides Yoshidora. I just feel like they're all really freaking stupid players. They just don't really know what's going on. I feel like they get like sensory overwhelmed by having so much movement in the air that they don't even, like, their brains fry from having so much air mobility, and they forget how to play Smash. Like, I've never played against a Yoshi player, and I'm like, wow, that was a really good decision. Like, that made sense. Like, he has such good neutral, he has such good damage output, he's non-committal, he has a really good disadvantage state, and he has good pressure too. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with them all. You basically can't beat this character unless you parry things and then get an opening. They just don't know how to, like, camp. I don't think I would beat Yoshidora after, like, talking to Aaron about it, and we were just talking because he went to Japan and he played Yoshidora, and I was like, would I win? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, probably not. And I was like, oh, is it like that? And he was like, yeah. And I believe him. Like, I don't think this character is like, I don't think we know what this character is. Like, I don't think us Americans actually know what Yoshi is. I think we just, like, know, like, 60% of what Yoshi can do, because it's just not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. I think Bayo can still win. I think she should not lose to a Yoshi player if the Bayo is better than the Yoshi player, but we don't really know much about Yoshi. It's kind of like the ocean, right? Like, we know, like, 30% of the ocean or something. That's like Yoshi. Like, we don't really know. We don't know. Oh my god, hi, Koi. Yoshi's a mysterious life form? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so who's next? Roy? Sure, let's do Roy. R. Okay. It's either here or here. I think I'm really bad versus Roy right now for some reason. Like, I kind of forgot how to fight against him. It's probably just even. I play against Cola, and I feel like I can't do anything. Like, sometimes. But then I play against Goblin, and I feel like I can do things, and I just have to play better than him, and I'll win. But this is one of those characters. This is one of those characters that is like you just lose if you don't have the lead. Like, if you lose the first stock, they're just gonna shield and then up you out of shield and then ground camp you and then up you out of shield again. And eventually, before you get their stock, you're forced to like deal with so much bullshit RPS until they're like an entire stock ahead of you, and then you have to jank them to win. And it's not that easy to jank Roy. Like, they have a lot of options because of their air mobility. Like, I don't know. This character is really hard to fight against, but his disadvantage state is not good, and I know that. I just struggle so much with it. Like, you can't really ABK in this matchup because they have such low to the ground dash that if they're just dashing or doing anything but standing still, they'll just dodge it or trade with you. Like, and their down tilt is so good on Bayo shield. Like, if Roy is down tilting Bayo shield, it's like -3 or something. So no matter what you do, you will get hit by the jab. You have to like disengage. You have to jump away or roll away, and then they start reading that. Like, dealing with Roy's run up down tilt is so annoying because they force you to play grounded with them, because if you jump, they'll just fight you when you land, right? Or they'll whiff punish your aerial with like a nair. They'll just like go in afterwards, and then you have to fight with them, and you don't want to fight with Roy on their conditions. You want to like force them to come into you when you're ready for it. So you don't really want to jump versus Roy, because what are you threatening, right? Like, they're just dashing back and forth on the ground. Like, what did you jumping threaten? Nothing. You're just in a different space, and now you have to land. So you kind of have to play grounded with Roy because his hurt box like disappears when he's dashing, and you can't ABK it ever. So you have to play grounded with him, and then he's twice as fast as you, and it's kind of like a Palutena situation again, where you get character gap because they ground camp you, and then they randomly run up and do an option that's better than yours, like a nair for Palutena. Like, Roy will just run up down tilts, and then you can't up out a shield no matter what. You'll get punished, and you can't do anything but concede. So you have to like hard read them. You have to like run back and forth with them 1,000,000 times, and then you have to read that they're gonna do a down tilt, and then you have to go over it with like a tomahawk grab or something. So you kind of have to be one step ahead to win neutral, but once you win neutral, your advantage state on Roy is better than Roy's advantage state on Bayo. So that's something that's good. But most Roys just don't do the right thing. Most Roys will just like nair into Bayo, but that's not good. Like, Bayo's good at defense when she knows what's coming, but if she doesn't know what's coming, then it's kind of hard to position for that, in my opinion. Like, if you don't know that Roy's gonna run down tilt and you get hit by it by mistake, you just die at like 60. And if you die early to like a tech chase or something, you just lose. You're going to, like, once you lose the lead versus character, he will just shield and then force you to grab him. And if he spot dodges it, or he like up his out of shield early or anything, it just feels like such botched RPS. And if you try to approach from the air when they're camping you, if you like run up like landing nair, if they up you out of shield, they'll up B, super armor through your nair, do 22% to you. Or if you try to tomahawk grab, that same up B they did that beat your nair out will also beat your grab, because they did it early before you even landed. So you have to like run up and then really fast land shield to like beat their up B out of shield. It's the most botched RPS ever, and because they have they have control over where they go when they up B like up or down, or like up or more to the right or left or whatever, you're not gonna like get a super strong punish. It's not like Cloud, where Cloud up B, I'm just gonna roll behind him, he has to land right here, and I'm gonna get a really big punish. But with Roy, he can kind of still do stuff. Like, he can decide where he's going to land, make sure he lands in a way where you're not going to get a really, really hard lined up punish. You just kind of have to take what you get. And then it's really hard to set up like a situation where he can die if you don't have a good setup. So the character is just really hard to like destroy. I used to think Bayo won, but that's because Roy, Goblin, and Cola, like last year, I was playing them and they just wanted to get in on me so bad. And I was like, it's not that serious, dude. So I was like, oh, I guess Bayo wins. They just keep running into me and getting upbeat out of shield and dying. But if they just ground camp, it's really hard. You have to outplay them. But I don't think it's a losing matchup, because Bayo's advantage on Roy is really good. But you definitely get stalemated, and it's annoying for sure. His ground is really good though. Yeah, it is. And his out of shield is just crazy. Like, even if you try to call out his dash dancing with like a run up down tilt, if they shield it or jump over it, you just take so much damage. So it kind of sucks to be the first person to commit. Terry? Okay, let's do ZSS. Last hit, last stock is impossible. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. Okay, ZSS. This is definitely even. It's just like, it's either even or slight advantage. I honestly don't know which one. ZSS is just like, Bayo does way more damage than her, and she doesn't really get ledge trapped that hard, but she actually can die at this off stage and like at the ledge and stuff because ZSS down B is really strong. Like you can't, it's not like Fox where you can just like use your hitboxes and they have to avoid them. She can like fight back on your ledge stuff with like a down B kick or like side B. So you can't really, hi Spencer, you can't really like fight out of the corner every time. You have to actually respect her ledge trapping stuff, which is really annoying. But I just think that like their run up jab is so good. Like it's like so good. They can run up jab and then they can like run out of your range of like ABK and stuff and like play bait and punish on that. So you can't really swing first versus the character committally. You just have to like swing in place or like retreating, and you can't really, I don't know, you can't force anything on the character because it's CSS. They're gonna run away, and the CSS is kind of stupid at that, like in that way. And they have a really good option versus Bayo, which is like camp, stay out of your range, blah blah blah, and then they just like run up right when you whiff something, like you just try to do like a short up nair or something, and they just run up and start like playing off of that, and you can't do much about it besides not press anything. And they have this other option where if you try to play grounded versus them, they run up forward air, like short up forward air, and cross you up. And they do that versus every character, but it's just really annoying that people are just like running up and hitting Bayo's shield and you can't do anything about it. But the fact that they can just like run up border and go past Bayo and then start like landing behind her and F-tilting and stuff is really annoying. Thanks, James. Fair and F-tilt are really good. Yeah, and I don't know, like I just really hate that girl's down B. Like the down B kick just kills you and then you just get camped. Bayo should win, and I used to think Bayo won, and then I played Mars, and I didn't play that good versus Mars, but I just felt like you can't really do anything about the character like when they don't let you. And their down tilt is super good too because they dodge everything and then just like poke at you. Fair hook puck shifts, yeah. The one thing is though, this character should not like die to Bayo stuff as much as they do. Like I feel like ZSS players die because they go for greedy down Bs, or like greedy down Bs like try to recover, or they go for like a stupid committal option and get hit by up tilt backer. But I don't think she should get hit by up tilt backer. She's really tricky to do anything to, and her Zaire is actually really annoying. Like Bayo always has to tech it, and it's really annoying. I played against this really good ZSS earlier this month on Wi-Fi, and they were ledge trapping me really good with Zaire. Like Zaire's like the only thing that just like clean cuts through ABK and just wins every time. And so they were just like making it so I had to go to ledge. Like every time I tried to ABK high, they would just Zaire it and then force me to ledge and then play off me at ledge. Like I feel like no one really knows that much about this matchup because it doesn't happen that often. But I think if they both like, if me and Mars played for like 12 hours, I feel like I'd walk away from it not thinking Bayo won, you know? Like I know Mars is like better than me, but when I played him, I thought it would just be easy because Bayo has like anti-airs and stuff, but this character is like really freaking fast. And she doesn't struggle to kill that much because Bayo's light. So Bayo's light and they have like transcendent hitboxes that just like kill. So I would just die at ledge. Like I would just get run up jabbed in neutral at like 80, 90, 100, and then it would just send me to ledge, and then I would have to deal with like down smash, side B, and down B kick. And I was like, can I really avoid this every time? I don't think so. And then I would just die eventually. And it was just like, oh, I didn't know ZSS could just kill you like that, you know? The rivalry matchups? I don't know. Like, this character's really weird. Because it's basically just the Mars matchup, right? And Mars is better than me, so it's hard to say. But I think it's even. Maybe winning. Probably not. Maybe. No, there's no way. They're better up close. Young Link? Okay, let's do Young Link. Which is right here. I used to think Bayo won, but now I don't know. I think youngling players are just really bad. I don't think Bayo wins. I think that he's way too fast on the ground, and he's like really pseudo safe on shield. Like you have to know exactly what's going to hit your shield, or else you can't do anything about it. And like my idea of why Bayo won was that if Bayo presses something and then Youngling presses something at the same time, then Bayo's hitbox will just like eat it out instantly. Like if he tries to do it a tilt on the ground, like Heal Slide will beat it out, or if he tries to like Nair, ABK will like slice right through it, stuff like that. And I was like, oh well, you can win. You just have to swing at the same time he does. But that whole like idea doesn't really work if they don't do anything. Like the concept that you have to swing first to win the mashup doesn't make sense, right? Because you're the one doing the thing first. So they're just gonna wait, and then you'll get punished by something eventually because you try to swing first and try to match them. So possible categories -2. It's the possible category. Young player race is so awful. I watched one Japanese player, Super Semi, play against Bayonetta in Japan, and I watched it and I was like, wait a second, what would I do here? Like usually when I watch Bayos lose to Young Link, I'm like, oh, they're dumb, I would have just done that. But I was watching that VOD, and Super Semi is probably like better than like the American Young Links, because I played against Toast and I was like, this is like really easy, like that wasn't hard at all. And then I played against like Z3 and I was like, okay, that was pretty easy. Like they just take so much damage and they die off stage and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. But this guy like forced like a bunch of interactions, and he didn't let Bayo sit still and like camp either, because Youngling can like approach really fast with like a grab or a dash attack, and you can't really do anything about it. So if you just try to like wait and wait and wait, you'll just lose, because Youngling can eventually just run up and fight you and you can't react and you're not ready for it. And if you try to swing first and you miss, then you have to land, and it's really annoying too. Jadisl makes you think it's -1. Yeah, the character just has a lot of priority, and they actually don't struggle to land that much like you would think. Like their fastball air dodge is just like really fucking fast, and they're really tiny, and their downer is like really good too, because it's just like it just beats everything. Like you can't, it's not like when you have R.O.B in the air and you just like swing on him and he can't fight back. Like if he reads that you're gonna insta swing, he'll just downer, and it's like a trade, and it's really good for him. And a lot of times it'll kill you, so you have to like respect him when he's in disadvantage. So yeah, I don't know. I used to think it was like easy, but it's probably even. The thing that like sucks for Young Link is that none of his conversions go into kills for Bayo. Like he can't do bomb into kill, or like maybe he can do bomb into kill, but you should never get hit by bomb as Bayo. But he can't do arrow into kill or boomerang into kill on Bayo, because you just DI away and bats everything. But it doesn't really matter, because he kills you by existing. Like people don't talk about that. Like he'll just short up Nair out of shield and you'll just die like at like 130, and it's too fast to react to. Like you'll just die like center, like close to center stage, and you're just like, wait, what? I thought we were just like hanging out, and I died. Like I used to think like, oh well, he can't really kill Bayo, but you'll go to ledge trying to like concede stuff because you'll die to other things, and then he can play around, like you'll die to F throw, and then you have to play around that, and then you just have to jump in eventually, right? And then you can just die. So I don't know. Yeah, Nair just kills really freaking early, and it's kind of crazy. And I don't think Youngling should get edgeguarded as bad as they do. They get edgeguarded so hard. Like, it can't be that bad, right? I think that they just don't recover properly. But if you do get like an early edgeguard in this character, then you should win. But that's the only way to kill him early. He's really heavy to the point where he shouldn't die to any Bayo combos, like at all. Like he shouldn't die off the top ever. He shouldn't die to like up B fair 1-2-3 like almost ever, unless it's like an edgeguard thing. Like you're getting edgeguarded and then you get up B fair 1-2-3. So I think that if you get an early kill, it would be winning if you could do it often. But I don't think this character should actually die early. I think they're just bad. So I'm gonna put an even. What was I saying? Okay, what character's next? Dark Pit? Sure. Okay, wait, I don't want to acknowledge the Dark Pit's a character, so I'm just gonna put him over here and just do Pit, because it's the same shit. So, Bayo wins versus this character because she just does way too much damage compared to him, and he's forced to like interact with her eventually, and he's just not that scary like at the ledge. Like he struggles to get off the ledge versus Bayo, and he has to shield a lot in like close mid range, which is really bad because Pit is like a movement based character, and the fact that he has to shield versus Bayo because of her ABK and stuff is not good. He recovers pretty well versus Bayo surprisingly because of the down B buffs, so he doesn't like get farmed. Like he doesn't just get comboed and then followed off stage and then like fucked up, but he still like just struggles so much with the damage output aspect pretty much. And because he's forced to commit, he actually does have to deal with up tilt back air like often. Like he has to run up grab or run up shield or run up attack, and so when you're that close to Bayo, you'll just get like rolled around or like jumped over into like an up tilt back air, and like you have to deal with it, you know. It's not like other characters where like Peach or Palu, they shouldn't be getting hit by it because they have options with movement to not get hit by it, but brawler characters like Pit kind of have to deal with it, and then if you have to deal with Bayo's OP stuff, you're not going to win. Like the people that win versus Bayo or go even are the people that don't have to deal with the OP stuff, but Pit has to deal with it because he's a really simple character that doesn't have much nuance or like game breaking stuff. So because Bayo is kind of like a cheater character, and if you have to interact with the broken stuff, you're not going to do well. He doesn't have good ledge trapping. He only has good grounded gameplay, but down tilt's a really good check on that. I don't know. It's not that great of a matchup for him. I mean, maybe it's even, but like, is there even like one Pit player in this world? No. So it's like, who cares? There's just not that great of a character. I mean, am I wrong? I don't know. I don't play against this character that much. Every time I do though, I up tilt them or down tilt them, and then they take like 70%, and then they go to ledge, and then they take a bunch of damage at the ledge, and then they get like one down throw up smash on me, or like a down throw, down air, nair, or something. Like even if they get like the biggest, sickest combo, nothing even happens, you know? They do like 40% max, and then air me off stage, and then we go back to neutral, and then nothing happened after that. Like it takes too much effort to beat Bayo for that character. How's Bayo against Zelda? Really easy. I don't really want to talk about it. The character just sucks. Meta Knight? Okay. Meta Knight. I think Meta Knight is also here. It's kind of the same thing as Pit, where they're really grounded and fast, but eventually they have to go in, and they don't get that much from going in compared to Bayo counter hitting. Like Meta Knight has to run up and do something, because you can call out his dash camping with like a down tilt or something, or run up shield and like take up space and then force him to try to grab you, and then you can like jump over it. Like he's kind of forced to act on you, and then he takes a lot of damage, and he struggles a lot with actually doing something when he gets a lead on, or gets a hit on Bayo. Like Bayo's skinny and hard to combo and has bats, and so if he gets down throw or dash attack, he's never going to kill you because it's Bayo. So his one strength as a character is kind of like mitigated, so I feel like it's really hard to say it's even. I feel like it would be even if you could actually kill you with combos, but he can't, and that's his whole kit. Like it's just a really basic character, and the stuff he does doesn't really work versus Bayo. He's only good if you try to go up to him and like fight. Like if you don't feel the need to fight him, then it's fine. He can't do anything. He has to play off of you swinging first, but you don't have to swing first like ever. Lucina? Okay. I think this is even. It doesn't feel that good, but I played Mr. E a lot at Ludwig's and Let's Make Moves, and I feel like I got a lot better at it. I think the whole point of the matchup is like managing risk reward really well. Like I used to struggle a lot because I was like, oh, like don't get hit by anything, but also hit him, and then I felt like it made me really predictable because the only way to do that is like trying to ABK them from outside of their range, and it's really obvious, and they have a really good punish on it with like back air to shield. And if you try to like ground camp, they can just like run up down tilt or like run up side B and like force you to act. So I struggled a lot in this matchup because I tried to play it methodically versus Mr. E, and it was just too obvious, and I was like, why am I losing to Mr. E? And I was like, well, this matchup must suck, right? And then I realized that the way to play it is to kind of like not get scared of getting tapped and just play in a way where to keep you away from him, he has to like swat you away, like with a one tap. So you like can jump at them and they have to like forward air you to get you away, or you jump at them and they have to like shield and then up you at a shield to keep you away from them. And then once you just like put yourself in situations where like they have to pick an option, and then if the option is right, like, yeah, you hit me, but you got 10%, right? And you can get hit like 10 more times before like anything bad's gonna happen. And then if you hit them once, you can do like 60 because this character is really bad out of combos because of their like weight and their floaty, and they have trouble landing too. So you just play in a way where you throw your body at them unexpectedly, and then they can't set up anything. Like Lucina's 2 hits and 3 hits come from like grab, landing aerials, and that's it. So they can't set it up. Like if you just camp or like play unpredictably and really fast and have good movement and then go in, they can't set up a strong punish. They have to one hit you away, and then eventually they're gonna just concede and shield because they're like, I don't know about this one, I don't know if I can hit him away this time, and then you grab them. So I just feel like it's not that bad, but the character really doesn't die. Like they should not get edge guarded pretty much ever. They should take damage off stage maybe, but they should not die off stage. So I think that even though you do a lot more damage, they're gonna guess right more, or their option's gonna work more often than yours because you're still kind of throwing yourself at them, and it's easy to hit. It's easy to swat someone away, but it's just the fact that you're doing it in like a calculated way where you're not gonna ever take a hard punish for it. So I feel like the key to this matchup is like movement, and if you play it right, you should do so much damage to them that even though they have an easier time killing you, they'll be at a high percent off of like 2 or 3 interactions, and you'll be at high percent off of like 8. So even. It's a fun matchup. I like it. Curious about ice climbers. Where are they? It's just my theory, but I think Bayo wins because you can just camp them, and then if you hit like the AI, I learned that like the AI just DIs like a CPU, and it's the same way every time, and they don't air dodge. So I was like, I only learned the matchup from playing Elite Smash, right? But I play against the crazy ones on Elite Smash, like the ones that kill you instantly in one hit with like grab into like desync and stuff. So I'm not playing against like, they're probably still bad players, right? Because they're just ice climber players that are doing desyncs. But at least I'm dying in one hit, and I was still winning a lot. And I was like, oh, I just have to like, I just have to like kill the helper like in one combo, and then I win. Like if you can just separate them with like a base knockback hit, like Nair or down air or F throw, and then get your hands on the solo one, and if you can just combo them like to like full hop height, the other one can't even help them anymore. Like they can't reach you. So if you can just separate them for long enough to set up the other one into a combo that's like too high up for the other one to reach, that helps a lot with platforms too. But if they can't reach you, you can just kill the other one every time, because if you could do like up B, fair 1, up B, fair 1, 2, like AVK, like back air or something. Like no matter what you do, they won't air dodge and they can't fight out of it. So you just have to go for like the craziest combos ever, knowing that they can't air dodge, and just try to kill them. And then the kid always dies to up B, fair 1, 2, 3 at the top because they DI up for some reason. The CPU just does that. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's not that bad. I just don't know how to like... I don't actually know that much about ice climbers, so, and I'm too lazy to learn the matchup. I have to learn it eventually, but I'm pretty sure Bayo should win if you play it right. Because she also has bats, which is great, right? Like maybe the combos are like a little bit harder on her. I don't know. It's just like, also Witch Time is pretty good when they try to do like those desync things with like down B and stuff. Like Bayo kind of forces them to just sit still on the ground like she does with most characters, so they can't do a bunch of crazy things. Olimar? Okay. Olimar. Where the fuck are you, kid? Okay. It's definitely here. It feels a lot like Aegis, where neutral is really hard and they hit you pretty hard and it hurts, and they won't stop hitting you and it hurts a lot. And they're super tiny and fast and you can't really do that much about it. But I feel like once you hit Olimar with something, he can still get oppressed. Like every character in the game pretty much can like oppress Olimar because he can't fight back. Like, I haven't learned how to do it really well, but I know that if I like F throw an Olimar in the corner, no matter what Olimar it is, there's like places I can stand and things I can do to like make the character forced to like get hit pretty much. Like, the reason like DeBuzz doesn't go Olimar versus like Light, for example, is because you're gonna get put on the ledge and then eventually you're just gonna like explode and you can't do anything. Even though he hits really hard and he's really annoying, I just don't think he's that good. But I feel like just kit to kit and the way that Bayo works, I don't think that she beats him for sure, but I don't think I would like lose without getting outplayed. Like, I feel like if I was playing good enough to like get a couple openings each stock on like DeBuzz or Shuton, I don't think I would lose. But it's just about getting those hits. It's really hard. Do I think Olimar's worth playing over Pac-Man? No, just play Pac-Man, it doesn't matter. Olimar, I don't know, dude. Like, there's just no way it's even, right? I just can't in good conscience say it's even. But it's definitely not impossible or like this bad. It's a lot like Aegis where you down tilt throw into 3 of them and then they're just in the situation where they can't really do anything. And he can't really play the long range Pikmin game that well because of Witch Time. You can always Witch Time the Pikmin bites and like get an opening. And that's a really big deal on Olimar because if you get one opening like for free, like his character's not that great. They can't throw Pikmins at you. They can, and they can like there's mind games to it too. They can downbeat the Pikmin off of you when you get near them, and then you can get baited to like Witch Time. So they can punish you then with like a really hard punish and stuff like that. But he gets comboed really hard. He gets edge guarded pretty hard. He doesn't have a good time getting off of the ledge. He doesn't have a good time landing. And he can't really deal with like high movement characters that well. Like, if you play like with a good movement and a fast character, he can kind of be forced to swing, and then he's not that great. I don't know though. It's just like he can just stand still and shield, and it's really easy to feel like you have to go in and fight him, but you don't. And that's where I feel like a lot of people will struggle with the matchup, including me. Like, I just don't think that character's that good anyway. I think if Olimar was actually a good character, good enough to be here, people would actually play him and not just play him as like a gimmick secondary counterpick character. You know, like Shuton doesn't give a fuck about Olimar. Like DeBuzz only goes Olimar versus people that haven't figured out his Olimar yet. No one's actually playing Olimar and being like, yeah, this is it. Unless like it's an awful matchup like Byleth versus Olimar, right? Like when Shuton beat Leo. That's like different. No one's actually going into a tournament with Olimar and they're like, oh, like I'm gonna win this shit. You know? Not that great. So I'm just gonna put him here for like that reason. I didn't say where Olimar sucks. I just said that Bayo has things. He gets edge guarded and he gets juggled and stuff. It's just neutrals are really hard versus him. Sephiroth? Alright. I think Bayo beats Sephiroth for sure. Because she has a lot of like soft checks in neutral with Nair and like up air and stuff like that, where he just can't meet you in the air in time. And his ledge stuff doesn't work very well versus Bayo because of Witch Time. And he gets really hard pressured in shield too. And Sephiroth's up air is actually reactable. So when you have bats, you can just bats within his up air really easily and just like land whenever you want. So like when I played Johnny, last time I played Johnny was in Grands of Shockwave like 2 months ago or something, and I lost the first set because I kept getting hit in the corner like a lot. Like I was getting ledge shot by F tilt and back air and stuff, and then I was like, wait a second, like why am I even fucking doing this? Like, and then I just started jumping over him. I would just like get up, shield like one thing, and then just double jump to center stage. And if he tried to up air me, I could just react to it, and I would just bats it every time, and then I would just like land in center stage. And I was like, wait a second, you can't even like ledge trap me. I can just go to the center stage whenever I want because you can't swing at me that easily. Like the character needs a lot of setup to pressure you, but if you just like go random places with all of Bayo's movement, they can't really do anything about it. Like the most he could do once he realized that I was just batsing every up air was like go to the side and like try to F tilt me, and then I could just like see that and like not land into his F tilt. Like it doesn't really work like that. I don't think Bayo should get edge guarded by Sephiroth either. There's just too much time to like mix up things. Like he has to hard read the timing, which isn't very good. Does no one agree with me here? I beat Johnny like every time. And I know I'm better than him, but still, like I feel like the matchup is like easy. He just takes so much damage. He has to tech all the time. And then you can punish him off of the tech chases. Like there's so many openings. And you think we win? Okay, thank you. Because he doesn't do anything. Like he can't what are his strengths as a character? His strengths as a character are his range and his ledge trapping, his edge guarding, and what like that's like it. Like he just plays to camp you and then get hard advantage state going. But he doesn't have hard advantage state on Bayo. Like he doesn't have strong combos on her. He has up throw combos, but you shouldn't get grabbed by Sephiroth really that often because he has to tomahawk you. And if Sephiroth is just willfully going into the air, then he's not that great at Sephiroth. How do you touch him? You just do soft checks in neutral. Like you just short hop nair, and then if he jumps, he gets hit, and you ABK after, and you start comboing him. And then if he sees you nair, he can't do anything about it because he needs setup. Like he can't just sit in neutral with you, see that you naired, and then go over and forward air you, because you can just nair, and then if you think he's going to attack you after, just ABK. Like he needs setup, and he can get stuffed so easily, and so you can just check him over and over again. Like his neutral is not good versus Bayo because nothing leads into a good hit besides up throw and nair. But he has to do a landing nair, which you can't do versus Bayo because you can just do a bunch of hitboxes all the time and he can't get it out in time. Or he has to grab you, and you can't get grabbed by Sephiroth really unless he tomahawks you. And if he's tomahawking you, it's a thing where he's actually going next to you and fighting you, and that's what you want, right? Like the only good thing he can get is from actually going up to Bayo and fighting. And let's say you just spot dodge or jump away from that tomahawk, he's gonna fucking explode. Like that was the best thing he could have gotten, and it's an up throw, nair, forward air at best if he has like wing or something, right? And if you spot dodge it, he gets like up tilt, up air, ABK, up B, ABK, up B for 1, 2, 3, and then he just took literally 65%. Like, and he's so light that even though he's technically hard to kill, he's just not, because he's just so light. He's just gonna die to something eventually. And he struggles a lot like with shield pressure. Like you can just back air his shield, and then you can just turn around and start hitting him again, because what is he going to do about it? Like if you back air Sephiroth's shield, he can down tilt out of shield and like forward air out of shield or roll, but none of that is good. Like if you back air his shield and you instantly like turn on ABK, it'll be everything he does. Like he's just really easy to oppress if you can just pressure him into doing predictable stuff by soft checking all of his strong options. I'm not going to lose to a Sephiroth. Like I'm so certain I won't. Like you can take this however you want. Like it's an easy matchup. It just took me a really long time to learn it. I lost to Johnny for like a couple months, but then I learned how to do it, and I was like, fine. It's just Sephiroth. Like there's there's bigger crimes in this world to be upset about than Sephiroth, is all I'm gonna say. Like there's Fox. Okay, let's do, I'm looking in chat. Okay, Spencer, I'll do Ness. Fine, whatever. So Ness is slight advantage for Bayo. Ness is slight advantage for Bayo because he's forced to play on the ground versus her a lot, and you can check him on the ground with down tilt, and then he's forced to run up shield if he wants to get anything started, and then it's really easy to play around Ness, who's just trying to approach you from the ground because that's not what he's good at. And he can't sit still and ignore your pressure, because if he concedes space because you're like using big hitboxes and stuff and threatening to anti-air him, it's kind of like Diddy Kong, where if you have Diddy Kong in the corner, he's not gonna like sit there and just stare at you. He's gonna try to get out of the corner. Same with Ness, because if they sit there too long, you'll just run up and grab them and they'll just die. So Ness is forced to like play out of like bad spots all the time because he has to concede what he actually wants to do because of the threat of ABK. And I think it's not that bad to being really easy because Ness can live a really long time, and I don't think he gets edge guarded that hard by Bayo either. He can get like janked at early percents, but I think like once they're at like higher percents and he's getting sent really far, he has a lot of mix-ups to get back to the stage. So like if he doesn't die off stage after like 80, he shouldn't die without getting red after that, basically. Like he shouldn't just like easily get janked. And I played against Gagged, like the best Ness in Japan, right? And I didn't play very well, but I found it really hard to get back to the stage after. Like this character has really good pressure on Bayo at the ledge because instead of playing to like punish you for doing something, like for example, characters that don't ledge trap Bayo very well, like Wii Fit. Wii Fit has to wait for you to ABK and then she has to go chase after you and try to punish you, right? Like it's a whole process, it's a whole sequence, and at any point they could mess up or just like mess up a read and just it's over, they don't get a punish. But Ness doesn't have to do that. All he has to do is trade. Like he just has to nair when he thinks you're going to ABK when you're in the corner, and it's really easy to get those kind of timings when you have someone in the corner because you're on the ledge and you can only do so many things at so many timings. So when I played Gagged, he just kind of like swung to trade all the time, and it was super hard to deal with. Like it was super scary because if I'm at 60 and I just try to do a ledge jump ABK and he backers me and we trade, then and now I'm at 85 and he's like chasing me with the PK Thunder, and if I get hit like 3 more times at the ledge, I'm just gonna die to the next time I get swatted. So I think Bayo's actually not that good versus Ness at the ledge. He has a lot of good stuff going for him. And his ground game is actually pretty good versus Bayo when it's higher percent, because you have to respect him because you'll die if you don't. So like when we're both at 0, I feel like it's a really easy time because nothing I get hit by is really that big of a deal, and I can kind of do a lot of scary mix-ups. But once like I'm at 100 type thing, I can't really commit onto him anymore. Like he has a lot of pressure from just standing there and looking at me, because if I ABK, I might have to like run away to the ledge if I miss, and then I might die at the ledge because the character has good ledge trapping. And like if I try to run up grab, Ness, back throw, swap dodge, whatever. So once you get to a higher percent, it's kind of hard to interact with the character. So if you want to beat Ness, you have to get a lot of shit done before you're at like 70, because then things get like scary. So yeah, I'm gonna put in slight advantage because the character just kind of like doesn't work that well versus Bayo. But because it's just such a good character in general, he's still allowed to like play the game. Okay, next character. Yeah, last hit stuff versus Ness is really, that's the only time he like beats Bayo, like has the upper hand. What about Mewtwo? I find that matchup weird. I think Bayo beats Mewtwo. I struggle versus Mewtwo a lot because I try to do mind game stuff with, you got the restock by Diddy. Was it Hayes or whatever his name is? I think that Mewtwo he struggles versus Bayo because he just takes way too much damage. He struggles to get off ledge, and charge characters in general aren't that good versus Bayo because she just jumps and it's not easy to like do what you actually want to do. And his callouts are all really committal. Like he doesn't have any, like as a character, he doesn't have anything that's like, oh, I'll just throw this out here, and if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, we just go back to neutral. Everything he does is kind of like a short hop run up forwarder. Like if you get that shielded, you're gonna get forwarded out of shield and take like 1 million damage. And if you try to run up nair, you'll just get like upbeat out of shield and take 1 million damage. So everything he does is like really committal, but nothing ever actually does a big string. So you kind of have to play around the fact that he has to do a read to win neutral and just try to oppress him. Like if you play to do mind games with him and like play far away and like run up and run back and stuff, I feel like that's way harder than just running at Mewtwo and trying to kill him. Like if you just go run up at him, jump at him, try to land behind him and like spam buttons, he doesn't really have that many things to like hard punish it. Since everything is basically the same punish, like you're either going to get like F thrown or like nair into F thrown or like hit by like a random shadow ball into F thrown. Since everything's like the same shit, like you're going to get punished no matter what, you might as well just run at him and try to kill him. And that way they don't really know what's going on and they don't have time to like space themselves properly. So I think that the best way to beat Mewtwo is just kind of to run at them and try to kill them. Because once they like get a groove on like what you're doing and get your timings down and know what you want in neutral and stuff, then it can get really complicated and annoying. But if you just don't even bother and you just try to interact with their Mewtwo somehow or the other with like a hit their shield or hit them or like make them roll. Just try to do something that makes them act. And then if you have the tempo in there and make them act first, or like run up and make something happen and don't wait for them to try to hit you away, then it's way better, because also they're going to stop charging their stuff as much because you're speed running the interactions, and no matter what you hit, it's going to go into a lot, and it can force him to do things that aren't going to get him a hit. Like if you're jumping onto him, right, he might only have like two options, which is like shield or like up air, like anti-air. And then that's not as good as if he was like having you where he wants you in like mid-range and then run up grabbing or like run up naring. Like if you let him run up to you when he's comfortable, then it's way harder than if you just kind of like pressure him. Yeah, exactly. Mewtwo needs setup. So if you don't give it to him and you just used your like good movement and fast movement and stuff, it's easier. I feel like dive kick messes him up. I don't like doing dive kick because you're forced to ledge after because he's so fast on the ground, and then he's actually good versus Bayo at ledge because of Shadow Ball. But I think the whole thing with Mewtwo is just like, if you get a hit and you don't make him hurt for getting hit, you're trolling, basically. Terry? Okay. I don't think Terry beats Bayo. I played Riddles at Ludwig's and I beat his Kazuya game 1, and then he 3-0'd me with Terry right after, and I was like, oh, I do not fucking know this matchup, and I still don't. This character is really good because they can kind of like Suedo zone Bayo with like the fire thing on the ground and then the side B kick, like crack shoot, I think, and he can kind of force Bayo to shield and play in bad ranges for her if you want to approach. But once you're in mid-range, like close mid-range, I think Bayo's like better. Like if you're in close mid-range, you can space him out with back air and down tilt, or you can run up an ABK or run up like shield grab or whatever. And you're kind of able to do what you want, and has to play it slower because he has to try to parry like a back air, or he has to do a committal option like that side B thing to like trade with you or like beat out your jump. But he doesn't. Did I just say Suedo? What is it, pseudo? I don't know. Pseudo. Anyway, like if you're in close mid-range with this character, it's really good because you can do like a tomahawk up tilt and like punish his parry and then get a big opening. Or if he doesn't parry your down air or your back air, then you can space him out some more with like down tilt and stuff. So the character is forced to do a lot of like decision making up close, and he doesn't want to do that because if he actually gets hit by the wrong thing, he takes a lot of damage, and he kind of gets edge guarded a little bit hard by Bayo, because not really because of like anything specific like up B or like down smash or witch time, but just because Bayo's double jump goes so high and Terry's double jump goes so low that you can kind of just stay off stage with him, and if he ever double jumps, you can just double jump back here and just like react and like punish it for like a long time off stage, and then you just kind of force him to do something with your presence. It's kind of like ZSS. You just go out there and you back air him and you threaten more back airs and you threaten more back airs, and the character's recovery is just not really suited to deal with that. But he actually fucks Bayo at ledge like bad. Like you can't up B, like you can't up B under the ledge because his down tilt will like beat it, or he can like trade, especially when he has go and he has that giant explosion move. Then it's really hard to deal with that because you have to pick defensive options after that. You can't do like crazy shit or you'll just lose instantly to that giant hitbox. So that sucks. And so when I played against Riddles, I was like, okay, I can't roll, can I? Because you're just going to fight me and I'm going to lose the fight. And I can't really neutral get up because you're standing right there and you're going to start fighting me. So I would just try to jump, and then he has really long lasting hitboxes. So he would just like nair my jump, and I ledge jumped and he did nair side B, and it like killed me at like 1%. And I was like, oh, so I can't jump. So maybe it's just me not knowing the matchup, but like I felt like shit when he had an advantage state on me. Like I did not feel like good at all. I felt very stressed out. And when Bayo gets hit hard by characters, it's just really freaking scary. That's why I don't like the Roy matchup. Like he hits hard and I'm like, ow, like I'm so light, I can't do that. Like I can't deal with that. But I just don't know if that was just Riddles being a top 10 player and like playing better than me, or if my ledge options were like super predictable and maybe I just didn't know what all my options were, right? But I really did not like being at ledge versus Terry. So I think the best way to play this matchup is to like not really do read ABKs. I think reactive ABKs are better. Like he takes a long time to land, and he struggles to get off platforms too. So if you just react to him being in weird spots with ABK, then I think it's better. Because if you do a random ABK and you have to like go to ledge to reset, they can pressure you really hard over there. So you have to use movement to open up Terry and just play really smart and reserved, and don't go in unless you're sure, because the character hits really hard, like almost as hard as Bayo. So yeah. But you don't have to worry about killing him that much because he just dies off stage all the time to like nothing. Yeah, your disadvantage just sucks versus Terry. Like, you don't have any tricks. You have Kalos in town versus Terry because the plats help you with getting off ledge. Yeah, stuff like that's really important. He also has really strong grab combos on Bale. At like 0, he'll do 30 no matter what with like up air up B or like nair side B. So you don't want to get grabbed. And yeah, I don't know. The character kills you off of jab at 100 no matter what. So you have to be really fucking careful before 100, and you can't afford to get hit by too much stuff. So I think you have to play really campy in the matchup. You can't play aggressive. Alright, give me a character. Okay, I'll do a character. Diddy Kong. Jazzy said Diddy Kong. I think Diddy Kong is... You know, I think Diddy Kong is easier than the matchups that are in here. But it's definitely not even. So I'm just going to put them here. Because, yeah. Like, I think Diddy Kong is like 55-45. But this is more of like a 6-4 area, you know? But who the fuck cares? So, okay, I'm saving this, like all these characters you guys said. So Diddy Kong is like, you have to know exactly what Diddy Kong does and like what they're thinking to win, and you definitely have to play better than them. But I think that there's like no Diddy Kongs that are good versus Bayo. Like none of these Diddy Kong players I've ever played against, I feel like they're good at the Bayo matchup. Like I played Tweaks Diddy Kong last year at MomoCon, and I 3-stocked it, and then he went to Sephiroth. And I played Aaron's Diddy Kong, and the last time I played it, I won. And then Beastly, this player from my region, plays Diddy Kong a lot now, and I beat it every time, but it was kind of hard at first. But I won, and I could tell that I have to play better to win. But I feel like none of them know the matchup, so I don't have to play that much better, you know? Like, this character struggles a lot with landing, and they're kind of like a ragdoll when they're in disadvantage. They don't have that many options, and they're forced to deal with you on the ground because they can't jump into you because of ABK and up B at a shield. So if you just like play in mid-range and pressure him and stop him from getting banana, or like force him to do a read to get banana by staying in a good range where he has to be like calling out that you won't run up and fight him, then it's kind of like not that bad. And I think Bayo's one of the really good characters at playing around banana too, because you just kind of like air camp and he can't force you to do anything. And you can even like a run up grab because they're always trying to shield something and then banana, and it's kind of dumb, but I feel like a lot of them are really easy to just like abuse. And you can also backer their shield, which is really important. Like not a lot of characters can just hit Diddy's shield when he's holding banana and not get punished, but if you backer a shield space, like because it's such a big distance, like the travel time of the banana to get to you, you can shield before it hits you. Diddy isn't that hard. The only problem is he doesn't really die. He'll take a lot of damage at disadvantage, but he shouldn't die if he's making the right choices. And then he can live kind of long, and then he only needs to hit you with like a banana at like 100 and you die to like down to up smash. His down to up smash is like the one thing in this matchup that's like really annoying. And also his ledge shoving is pretty good versus Bayo because he can really easily and like non-committally cover jump from ledge, which is like Bayo's only option a lot of the time. So you have to actually play ledge smart, or else you'll just get hit by like a random backer and die, or like an F tilt. His F tilt's also really good, but this character just doesn't have big enough hitboxes to deal with Bayo when she's on ledge like pre 100. Like other characters when they're at ledge versus Diddy Kong, like any percent, they have to like fight to get off like tooth and nail. Like they have to make really good decisions, but Diddy Kong can't deal with like her up B like at all. Like you have to do a hard commit to deal with up B, like a F tilt or F smash or down air or down smash or whatever, and that doesn't really, you're not allowed to do that at like low percents. That's just not the thing to do. No one's gonna do that, because if she just waits, then you're gonna get hit by forward or off the ledge and you just explode, and the risk reward's just not good enough. Good Diddy Kongs are really campy. Yeah, but and it's just not that good because if you give Bayo too much room to do whatever she wants by like quote unquote camping, then it's like not hard to deal with. Because he, if you try to camp with Diddy Kong, you're gonna give up stage because that's what camping is, and then you're gonna be in the corner, and then if I run up grab you, you're gonna like explode. Like you're just gonna like try to double jump up side B and you're gonna get killed for it, or you're gonna try to go low and you're gonna die for it. So you can't really camp with Diddy Kong. You're kind of forced to fight so that you don't have to give up your stage. And if you fight Bayo and she just has a feeling that you're gonna fight her, she has a really good chance at just winning that RPS and just killing you. Like if I think, oh, they're not going to dash back again because then they're going to be like really close to the corner. I don't think they're going to do it. Then I just read that they're going to run up and try to fight me with something, and then I just counter hit it with like a heel slide or something, like a jump over whatever they're doing. And then if I get a hit there, it's just like they get so much damage on them. Like I just feel like this character becomes predictable because they can't dash back as much as they want. Like Palu can dash back all the way to the corner and then just like TP back. But Diddy Kong has to fight to get back to the stage, and that's why it's really easy to beat them because they're all so predictable because I know they're not going to go to the edge because if you go to the edge, I'll go over there and I'll kill you. RPS is rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. I just think I'm like way better at this matchup than any Diddy Kong I've ever played, so I just don't think I would ever lose it, but it definitely does not seem like a matchup Bayo wins. Yeah, no, Diddy Kong players are just bad, for sure. Alright, let's do Lucario. I played Vivid, or whatever his tag was, Vivi, at Apex. That was like the best Lucario I've played against, and it felt kind of hard, but I don't think it's actually that hard. Like, that character's kind of forced to do hard callouts to get the first like 40% on Bayo. Like he has to run up grab or run up order your like jump. And if he doesn't do either of those, then he's not going to do any damage to you. And or he has to jump into you with like a full hop landing nair or something, or like a short up landing nair, and that's not safe on shield. You can just up it. So he's forced to do something really punishable to get the first 40%. And then after he gets that first like 40% on you, then he's allowed to play the game. But before that, it's just like this shitty character that does 2% per hit is just running at me trying to hit me. What is he doing? And then they just take so much damage trying to get that first little percent. Major Aura is annoying. Major Aura is annoying, but they're like you have to know when to end your combos versus Lucario. If you do like if you have him at like 100 and you're doing like up B, side B, fair one, up B, fair 1, 2, 3 to send him off stage when you could have just done like up B to send him off stage, then that's kind of on you. Like you have to know when to end it to put him in situations where you can kill him without doing like overkill. Like if you're gonna send him off stage and he's not gonna die, don't do like one giant combo, you know? Especially because you'll have landing lag or like you'll have to go to ledge and then your advantage state will be fucked up because you won't be in the right positioning for it. You have to like put him in situations off stage or like at the ledge where he has to make a decision to not die and then play off of that instead. And that way you can like condition him too and like get like habits read to get like a good kill. It's really weird. Yeah, or sphere hitting below the ledge is really, really stupid. Like once the character does live at like past 100, he's actually really, really good versus Bayo because he has a giant answer to ABK being that aura sphere, and you're just forced to jump a lot. And once you're jumping a lot, his neutral's not that bad because he can run under you, or he can just like he has the freedom to move once he has that giant aura sphere, because you have to respect it a lot. Because it's not just that it does like 30%, it sends you to ledge, and he gets another one for free right after. Like if you don't dodge the aura sphere, then you just like are gonna struggle a lot pretty much. And Bayo has a hard time in general with like grabs that kill you because she has a really slow spot dodge, like twice as slow as most characters. So you can't really, it can be kind of awkward to deal with his side B that kills you when it's like a pressury situation. Like when you're at the ledge or you just landed off of like a jump or something and you have to like deal with him right when you land, like he runs up on you, it can be kind of hard to like make sure you don't die. I end up rolling a lot versus this character because I'm just like, oh, please don't kill me. But he shouldn't be able to get you in that position without playing pretty well up until that point. Yeah, exactly, Kiyama. You have to make sure you get the kill when you need to get the kill. Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant is even because I don't want to talk about it. This character's so dumb. This character just plays like really grounded and just neutral Bs all the time. And if you ever swing, the neutral B will fall onto Piranha Plant after you knock Piranha Plant out of it, and it'll hit you. So you can never heal slide him or ABK him unless it's really unexpected. And basically the way to win this matchup is to not move in much at all and just kind of like focus on getting non-committal hits like a down tilt or like a landing nair or something, and just make sure that you're not getting like fucked up by like something stupid. Like anytime you think about swinging versus Piranha Plant, it's probably the wrong choice and you should probably just dash back instead, because it's just the most anti-mash character ever. Like you can't really oppress him. You just have to let him do his thing and try to outmaneuver him with movement until you have a good what do you call it? Good opening. If you bullet climax him while he's Batui, he just drops it. I mean, they could just react to that and shoot it at you. Like it's really awkward. There's a lot of counterplay to this character because he's awful, but it's all really finicky. And the thing is, if you don't win like 75% of the interactions between you guys, then they're gonna end up with you at like, they're gonna get you to 90% eventually, and then you have to deal with his up smash just killing you. Like you can never heal slide Piranha Plant shield because you'll just die after like 55 because he'll up smash out of shield and you'll die somehow. It just kills you. It's crazy. So this character just garners a lot of respect because you can't ABK and you can't heal slide and you can't really, like, even if you try to run up grab, right, they could spot dodge up smash and you'll just die. So you have to give him a lot of respect and space him out and make sure that you're just taking the fights that are the good fights, and you have to go really hard off stage. Like you have to position really well and burn his resources, and even then he probably won't die unless you do like a perfect witch time punish on his up B, but you just have to do that just for damage because the character doesn't take that much damage either from combos. He takes more damage from like tech chases. Like he's so heavy that if you do like down till fair 3, he'll just have to tech and then you heal slide it. So you just have to know like what he can do at disadvantage pretty much. And it's just a really hard character to deal with. But once you kind of just like realize, oh, he's just sitting on the ground, he's just staring at me and he's not doing anything else, then eventually you can get an opening because you're like faster on the ground, and he'll eventually be forced to like call out you with like a full hop landing nair or something, or a dash attack, and then you can get a good punish because like you can't ground camp Bayo forever if she's faster than you. Like she'll eventually just like open you up with like a down tilt or something. She'll like run up down tilt. So you can't really do it forever. But a lot of people struggle with this character because eventually they just break and they're like, okay, fuck it, I'm heal sliding, or fuck it, I'm ABKing, and then you just get swatted and it sucks. So it just takes a lot of discipline, and it's still an even matchup. I don't think Bayo wins because it's just like crazy. I played against Ryan DCB, who used to main Bayo. He's from Canada. He used to main Bayo and then he switched to Piranha Plant. So he knew how Bayo worked, and I was like, oh, like I'm not getting away with anything. And then it was like really hard. Like playing against like people in pools will go Piranha Plant versus me thinking like, oh, like I'm gonna ABK, or I'm gonna like Patui every time he ABKs and I'm gonna punish him so hard. But if you play against a Piranha Plant that actually knows what's going on, it's actually really scary. So I'm gonna put in even. Like he changed my mind. I used to think Bayo won, but I don't think so anymore. Like if you actually know what's going on, it's actually really hard. Hi, Despade. All right, let's do Rosa. Okay, Rosa she's low-key here, but I'm gonna put her here. Rosa can't deal with anything that Bayo like presses, so she has to concede all the time, and she can't really like fight out of shield either because she only has up smash. So once you hit her with anything, and none of anything you're hitting her with is like a high risk thing because she doesn't have hard punishes on anything. So once you hit her with something, eventually you just don't stop hitting her, and then she struggles a lot because it'll always force her to ledge or land as a floaty character on stage, and then she just gets fucked. Like you can just run at Rosa and she just gets fucked. I take a long time with matchup charts because I talk a lot. I haven't played Debuzz's Rosa yet, but I don't think it would be that bad. She has good ledge chopping versus Bayo because her side B is really strong at like catching like ledge jumps, and it beats ABK. So you're kind of forced to neutral get up or get a good ledge jump off, and so she can get damage on Bayo at ledge. But it's just like neutral's way too hard. You're basically running away from Bayo the whole time, and that doesn't really work like with Rosa because she's so big. You're not gonna, it's not like Joker. When Joker runs away from Bayo, you can't really swing. But if Rosa's running away from like Bayo, you can just Pac-Man, or you can just like hard call it out. So about that Pac-Man and even, good one. You missed it. You'll see. Just wait for me versus T. You'll all see. I never saw the Frog versus Dabuz VOD, but yeah, if Frog can beat Dabuz, then I think that like it's a fine matchup. Okay. Pichu's over here. I won't be talking about it. Oh, it wasn't streamed? Oh. It sucks. Yeah, Pichu's just like Pikachu, except he kills you earlier and he dies earlier, and it's just annoying and stressful, and it's just the same shit. Okay, let me do Corrin. If I can find them. Okay. Bayo low-key beats Corrin. Like, low-key. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. Bayo just like oppresses Corrin a lot in mid-range with forward air. Like, you can just run up to Corrin and start forward airing, and she can't really do anything about it. And she's not fast enough to punish Bayo's like special lag, pretty much. Like, she has to read you to punish her lag. And if you're putting people in a situation where they have to read you for one hits, then it's just like not that threatening. And she kind of struggles to juggle Bayo, definitely compared to other characters, because she's a fast faller and she has dive kick and she has witch time. So all of the stuff that's like good about Corrin just kind of gets shut down by Bayo. Like, she still wins like a lot of matches. Like, Shattuck will still beat me a lot, but I'll definitely win more often. And the sets that I win versus him, I'm like, wow, that was kind of easy, because Bayo just blows up this character really easily. Like, Corrin can't fight out of shield well, and she can't fight in general well because she needs setup and she needs a lot of room. So even though Corrin's just like a really good character in general, so she'll win like interactions and then start juggling you and do a lot of damage, and she'll kill you early. That's like what she's good at. But if you don't get hit by like the big combos, which you shouldn't get hit by because you can stay out of her range really easily because she's so slow, then it's like fine. The reason why Corrin's good is because if you're playing Corrin against like, I don't know, like Ness or Peach, like you can stay out of their range, and then once they get in your range, you can start hitting them with like combo starters. But with Bayo, you can run out of Corrin's like combo starter range and then just like ABK right back in, like just go straight back in there, and she can never set up for that because it's too fast. So Corrin can't really get a combo starter on you without an actual read. Like, it's really hard for her to do 60%, 50%, 40% with like a combo. She has to like jump over your grab or like, I don't know, down tilt you and make you tech on a platform. So it's really rare for Corrin to get an easy ticket to Bayo at 100%. Once she has Bayo at 100%, she can kill you with like a lot of things, and it can actually be kind of stressful to deal with, but it should just be way harder for Bayo to like be sent to 100% than Corrin. And even though Corrin lives a really long time, sometimes she just doesn't. Like, if you get her with like an up tilt backer at 100 and then you edgeguard her the right way, like you have a good chance of just killing her, and it's over, and it's like depressing. Like, she just dies to it. And since she's like really easy to combo, she can die to like forward air 1-2 up tilt back air just like that. Like, she just gets hit by like everything, it feels like. Yeah, Shattuck is really good versus Bayo and he still loses to me. Corrin out of shield isn't good. Yeah, like if you run up to Corrin and you just press like if you just throw the whole kitchen sink at her, like the most you get hit by is like a nair out of shield, like a rising one. You don't get comboed. So it doesn't really matter. Character just isn't that potent versus Bayo. Her strengths don't show when she plays against Bayo, basically. So I just think like if you look at it like that, like Corrin can't do what she wants to do and Bayo can, I think that Bayo is pretty good. Let me do Falcon. I think Falcon loses to Bayo too, because he can't really like do his dash dance shit that makes him good, because all of it gets stuffed out by APK, and everything he does gets like hard punished. Like there's nothing he can do that's like a soft punish, you know? Like he's just such a committal character that he's always throwing himself into like the worst possible combo setup just by playing neutral. Like he's too easy to stuff out, and it takes him so long to actually get next to Bayo just for him to have to deal with like being next to Bayo. The only thing that makes this matchup not really easy is the fact that he can just like ledge trap really well with his like lingering neutral moves, like his tilts and shit, and his aerials are all just really meaty and strong. And his up out of shield is really, really good versus Bayo. Like there's nothing you can hit Falcon's shield with without getting like up out of shield unless you're like perfectly spacing it. Like a perfectly spaced back air and a perfectly spaced down tilt are like the only things you can do to Falcon where you're not just gonna like explode. But everything else you do, there's literally nothing else you can hit Falcon's shield with and not get up. It's crazy. And it does 25% or something crazy and sends you to ledge, and it's really good. That's like his saving grace in the matchup. But then if you just read it and up throw him when he's trying to shield, he can't land because his character is not that good. So it's kind of fine, but I think you have to play better than the Falcon to win sometimes. But most of the time, they'll just get blundered and they'll just die. Heal Slide's also actually really good versus Falcon because it catches his dashes. His dashes are like, it takes it forever for him to dash and then put his shield back up compared to most characters because his dash goes so far. So even though heal sliding in neutral is like a newbie versus a lot of characters, versus Falcon it's not. You can just do it and it's fine. Up B's ridiculous? Yeah, it is, but it's like his only good thing, so who cares? Wow, matchup charts take a while. I did not take this long for my last one. Am I really rambling that much? Okay, Banjo. Banjo loses. Banjo sucks. We all know Banjo sucks, and there's nothing special about him that I have to explain. Banjo sucks. Bowser is... I don't know if he's slight advantage or really easy. I think he's really easy in comparison to these characters. Like, he just struggles so much with everything that Bayo does, and the only thing he can actually like do versus Bayo is like ledge trap her a little bit and like up B out of shield if she doesn't. My camera froze. I don't think so. He has like up B out of shield, which is not that good anyway because if you're shielding in place versus Bayo, you're gonna get up thrown and you're gonna die. And like his neutral is just so bad. Like he's just forced to jump all the time. And his disadvantage, he's also forced to jump all the time because if you don't and you just swing where he's going, he's just a sitting duck. He can't fight back in the air. So he has to jump, and then if you call it his double jump, he'll probably just die because he gets comboed and the combo ends and he doesn't have a jump. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I would ever lose to a Bowser. I just don't think it's that bad. The only thing is if you're scared of Bowser and you give him respect and you're like, oh no, like he's shielding, let me back up, then it can be hard. But if you see him shielding and you just run up and grab him, it's like so bad for him. He's just such a committal character. He's kind of hard to combo though, like early percents, like 0 to like 20, it's hard to combo him because he's so big and fast volley that he just tacks out of combos a lot. But once you're past that threshold, or if you just hit the right hit, like if you hit like a forwarder on him at 0, it's fine, you'll get a good combo. But if you hit like a heel slide or down tilt, you might not get a good combo really early on. But that's fine because it's not really about comboing him, it's just that he can't do anything at disadvantage no matter what. So as long as you hit something, it's fine. He can only ledge trap her. Yeah, he's just not that great. He can ledge trap her and then he can fight her up close, but you don't really have to go up close and fight him until after it's like a time where he would die for losing that fight. I'm not gonna put Banjo here though, because Banjo low-key has stuff. He just plays so slow. Chrom loses to Bayo because he just dies every single time he gets hit by anything, and the only thing he has going for him is a ledge trap, but it's not that good. Like all he has is ledge trapping. His neutral is not good versus Bayo, and his advantage state isn't good versus Bayo besides the ledge, and this is all he has. If Bayo hits him with anything, he just literally dies, and it's like embarrassing, honestly. Like I just don't think that I need to talk about that more. This is even. It would be winning, but I think that's just because Cloud players, like if you look at Cloud versus Bayo, Bayo wins more often just because Cloud players aren't that good versus Bayo. But if Cloud players played it properly, I think that Bayo would not win. I just don't think that makes sense. Like, Cloud is just way too good. And he's really good at harassing Bayo's shield because, like, not that many characters can harass Bayo's shield compared to Cloud. It's just that they get so impatient. I don't know. I don't think I'm crazy. I don't think that Bayo should win versus Cloud. He just hits way too hard. Like, the fact that if you dash into Cloud to try to pressure him and he can just call it out with side B and do 25 is, like, not fair. Like, he does 25 and then he gets limit and then he just uppies out of shield once you're at like 100 and you just die. Like, there's just too much. This character just has way too much pressure. It's one of like the only characters that can actually pressure Bayo, like, ever. So I'm just gonna put him here. Donkey Kong is really easy. I won't be taking any more questions. Dr. Mario is really easy. He just dies when you hit him. Duck Hunt is he really easy or is he slight advantage? I haven't really played against a good Duck Hunt ever. I'm just gonna put it here. No, Cloud is really fucked up. Like, actually. Oh, you play against Wisdom, right, Death Spade? I don't know. I don't know much about this matchup. Falco is even. After playing Tilde at Riptide, I was like, yeah, that feels pretty even. They can just like, the Falcos can play it really annoying and like camp the fuck out of you, and that's kind of hard. But them camping you doesn't actually do anything. It does like 10% per stock max. Like, you're just getting hit by a couple lasers here and there. But if you don't let them like condition you by laser camping, then it doesn't really matter. You can just like ignore it. If the only thing is like, if you run up shield because he's lasering and then you run up shield again and you do it in the wrong time or like in the wrong spacing and they just run up grab you, because then you take like 1 million damage and you actually got hit. But if you just like stay calm when they're zoning you out with like the stupid down Bs and lasers and like jumping back, and just make sure that you're not running up straight into their hands, then it's fine. Because Bayo does a lot of damage to Falco in advantage state and in combos and like off stage and at the ledge. Like, Falco kind of gets oppressed a good amount. I don't know if it's my only stream of the year. I think I already did like 3. Japanese Duck Hunt is gonna fuck my shit up. Yeah, that's why I'm not putting Duck Hunt in really easy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Falco. So this is just like an advantage state battle, honestly. Like, if Bayo does more than him in advantage state, the thing is he just kills earlier. So you have to play it pretty smart. Like, you can't get hit by him for free, because once he has you at the ledge, he can actually kill you, since his forwarder is really good for ledge coverage. Like, really good. Like, if he has a soft read, like just a slight idea that you're gonna jump from ledge, he can just forward it and you can't dodge it. It's just gonna cover that for like 10 frames. It's really annoying. And he has a punish on ledge hang too with down tilt, and you can't do anything that's like obvious or like a bad option. Like, you can't just roll from ledge just because, right? Because the character's a punishing character. Like, they will just react and just like up tilt back air you, and it hurts really bad. But it's like, he just has really small limbs. So if you ever like read that he's going to swing on you when you're in the corner, you just trade with ABK or beat him out with ABK and you can just get out. So it's just a really weird matchup because he's not that scary. He just kind of like runs around and tries to kill you, you know? Like, he just is on the map with you, and it just feels like if you like stop paying attention to him for like 1 second, he'll just kill you. But if you just play it smart, it's fine. It's just even because he's a better character than Bayo. But Bayo doesn't struggle with the way that Falco plays. You just have to not commit, like, unless you're sure. If you do obvious commits and obvious approaches, you just give Falco what he wants for free. But if you just play it smart, it should just be like whoever is better wins. Ganondorf is really easy. Greninja's really easy. That character doesn't work versus Bayo. Ike is definitely easier than Byleth and stuff, but I don't think I would put him in really easy because Ike lives a long time sometimes. Ike is just slight advantage because he can like do the stupid side B mix-ups and live the edge guards off stage, so he doesn't like die, and that character gets a lot of chances. Can I talk about Greninja more? Oh god. Okay, Greninja loses to Bayo because every time he runs at her, the risk reward is just literally awful. Like, it's literally awful every single time he runs at Bayo. So, here's what you do. You guys, like, come on. Like, can you really say you're good at Bayo if you can't beat Greninja? Okay, so if you dash attacks your shield, you uppy out a shield, uppy, fair 1-3, blah, blah, blah. He just took 50%. And if he got that dash attack, he has to read your air dodge to get one hit. So if you get hit by dash attack in neutral, you take 7%, and then he has to read you one more time, and then he reads you one more time, and then you take 13%. So you take 20% if he reads you twice. But if you just hold shield, you didn't even read anything. You just held shield, and he dash attacked you, and he took 1 million damage. Okay? And then when he like tries to grab your shield, his grab range is really bad, so he has to hard commit on you to grab your shield. He has to run all the way into you, and that is really slow. So if you aren't just literally sitting there for 3 seconds, he can't run up grab you. But let's say he run up grabs you and you get hit by the grab. Okay, you get hit by up throw up air in like a very small percent range, and then after that you just bats the up air by dying away. So he has to up throw you after hard running straight at you and grabbing you, and then after he hard commits onto grabbing you, he has to read your air dodge and he has to read the direction, and then he can get another hit. So that's a bad option too. So what I'm trying to say is Greninja can't interact with you and he has to run away the whole time. So once he starts running away the entire time because he can't interact with you, you just go towards him slowly and you don't dash. You just walk at him, and don't dash if he can like actually intercept your dash with something. Just walk at him, short hop at him, go over the stupid like shurikens, and that's not real zoning. His shurikens aren't real. They don't do anything. They're not a big deal. They should never hit you. Your jump goes too high. So his shurikens suck, and now he's just sitting in the corner by the end of this whole camping sequence waiting for you to like come to him. And then you can come to him if you want, and you can just fucking heel slide, and because his hitboxes are so finicky, your heel slide will just go under his forward air and will go under his nair and we'll just beat it. So if he tries to jump out of the corner and fight, it will lose, or you can just ABK and it'll just beat it too. And this is a character where even though his dash goes under ABK, you can just spam ABK, and if he ever jumps, he'll get fucked. And if he doesn't, just go to ledge, and the character has nothing on Bayo at ledge because, again, nothing is true. So you can just neutral get up or jump, and he can't punish you for it without anything but like one hit. And then if you ever hit him, and he's camping and he's in the corner and you hit him, you just hit him off stage, and then you just do a bunch of nairs off stage and up Bs off stage, and he can't get past the hitboxes because his character doesn't have a hitbox on his up B, and then you just do 1 million damage to him off stage because he can't fight back. And then he dies. Like, if that character ever interacts with Bayo and loses, he takes like 40%, 50%, and then if he ever interacts with Bayo and wins, he gets like 10%, and then an extra 10% on top as like a treat if he reads you one more time. It's just a really bad character versus Bayo. It just doesn't work. Like, because of bats, his whole game plan doesn't work. It's just a bad character. I've never played against a Greninja and been like, oh, like, this is the match where I'm like so nervous, like who knows what's gonna happen. It's just a bad character. Bayo versus Inkling. I think Bayo beats Inkling. I think that Inkling is one of the few characters that you can just get like a one stock lead and then just run away the entire rest of the set and win. I think Inkling doesn't really work versus Bayo because his hitboxes are so tiny and his out of shield is so bad that like he can't contest Bayo once she gets a lead and goes to the other side of the stage and like runs away. And down tilt is really good to deal with his grounded approaches, and he doesn't get any strong combos on Bayo. Like, he shouldn't be hitting Bayo more than twice at a time, like 2 hits at most, you know? The one thing is that he has a good up throw up air range on Bayo, but you can just air camp until that range is gone. Like, eventually he has to hit you and then that range is over. It's just like not a bad matchup for Bayo. She does way too much damage. Inkling is way too easy to combo. He gets edge guarded pretty hard. He gets ledge trapped hard because he has a bad out of shield, and like he can't fight out of the corner really. So he's forced to commit to get out of the corner, and he can't land, and he can't get off platforms. So if you up B fair 1-3 out of shield or something, right? Then he gets sent to a platform. He gets sent in the air. He can't get back down unless he reads you. He has to read your like swing with an air dodge, and he's basically made to take another decision to get out of the corner or get out of the disadvantage state, right? After already taking like 30% from just up B fair 1-3. And like just the initial up B fair 1-3 is already doing more damage than what he would have done if he read you and like hit your shield with like a grab and did like up throw and air. So he just gets out damaged way too hard. And even though you can't kill him that well, because he has to play grounded versus Bayo, your jab lasts like 3 frames and it's really good at catching his dashes and killing him for it. So it's kind of like Game & Watch where it's technically hard to kill, but because you have jab, it's not. Because you can just like stand still, have stage control, and then just throw out jabs and they have to deal with it or die. Mii Brawler, let's do Mii Brawler. Bayo definitely loses to Mii Brawler, just not this bad. I think Bayo loses to Mii Brawler because like I don't really know how to explain it. I just feel like if I played Bloom Forever's Mii Brawler, I would just lose, and that would be like the end of the story. Like the character is just like really obnoxious, and they don't really like you can't really pressure the character. They fall really fast and they don't take much damage and disadvantage. And yeah, they're hard to combo. Like they don't take much damage in general, and their ledge trapping is good versus Bayo because the backer is super uncommittal and meaty, and the neutral B is really good for like forcing out her resources too. So you kind of have to like do what they want you to do, and it's like a min-min situation where anytime you're supposed to be pressuring them like you would a normal character, they can just dash attack out of the corner or jump double jump fast fall out of the corner, and like before you can even react to what's happening, they're like out of the corner already and they're just fighting you again. And they live a really long time and they have a lot of chances at like winning neutral, and their combos are true on Bayo as well, like the down throw up air and stuff. It's all true. Like you can't really avoid it if they do it right. And yeah, it's just a really meaty character with a lot of chances in neutral and life and doesn't take much damage, and you just kind of don't win. You kind of have to outplay them to win. I played against Super Berry's Mii Brawler, and they're not that good, but I was playing them and I was like, oh, this is not easy. I have to read them to win. I don't like this. And it's like Fox in the sense that like they mash really big buttons, right? And if you try to counter hit it with heel slide, it doesn't work because after you whip punish them with heel slide first hit, the second hit of heel slide won't connect because they can attack it because they fall so fast. I'm sure I would think it was even if I knew how to edgeguard Mii Brawler, but I honestly don't even know what his 3 down B and up B moves look like. I know about the helicopter kick and the one where they climb up the ladder or whatever, but I don't know how the character works, honestly. Like I just put myself in between them and the ledge and I hope they die, but the down B is actually pretty good too. Yeah, it's a good character, and it's just that if Bayo can't pressure a character, she probably doesn't win, so I'm just gonna put them there. Am I overreacting? That's just what I think. I don't know much, but that's what I think. Isabelle loses to Bayo pretty hard because you can just jump around everything that she does, her entire kit, and then land and pressure her with down tilt and stuff. And I played kept Isabelle with my Bayo, and he immediately switched off to Diddy Kong, so I think this matchup is just not that really in her cards. She just doesn't have anything going for her. You can even like bullets and explode the little rocket on the ground and stuff. Can you talk about Diddy? Yeah. Diddy's like, man, I wish I had more categories in this tier list because I'm kind of generalizing things a bit. But Diddy's like, there's a Diddy player in my region that I play against a good amount, and he does take games sometimes off of me and stuff like that, but I feel like this character's just forced to fight at a disadvantage the whole time, and he kind of gets edge guarded by Bayo a bit, and he's just forced to shield all the time versus Bayo. Like, he's just forced to shield a lot. But the thing is, he has good options out of shield. Like, he can like roll out of shield, reposition, and starts like zoning you out. I think what makes him like pretty good versus Bayo in comparison to the other heavies is he's so heavy that he doesn't die to the combos. Like, you can finish the whole combo and do it all perfectly and stuff, but he just won't die because he's that heavy. And then once he doesn't die to the combo, you kind of have to hit him a lot to kill him. And he has checks on ABK. Like, it's not like Ganon, right? Like, if Ganon is trying to deal with your ABK, he has to shield or roll away or run the fuck away. But if Diddy thinks you're gonna ABK, he can just F tilt or up tilt or like do an aerial, like get a nair out of shield or something. Like it's really easy for him to get a really big hitbox out whenever he needs to, and they just beat ABK. Like F tilt just straight up beats it, which is like not a thing that a lot of characters have. So he has a lot of good checks on Bayo when he has her at ledge. So you actually have to think a little bit kind of hard about D2D, like what he's going to do when you're at the ledge, and he can do damage to you. So you have to play well to beat him. You can't just troll and beat him. You have to play pretty well. So I put it here. He also has good air-to-air with Bayo. Like if he can get into the air, he's not immediately losing. Like he can fight back down. He can jump. He has a lot of jump mix-ups. He can like think if you're going to ABK him, he can swing a back air and trade and stuff like that. So yeah, he's not that bad versus Bayo. And he doesn't need Gordo to ledge trapper either. It also, like, if he sets up the Gordo in a good way, you kind of can't do that much. Like, you can't witch time it in time sometimes, and then you're forced to actually interact with it. And if I know that I'm saying this, like, oh, sometimes this, sometimes that, but that's all he needs. Like, he only needs things to go right sometimes because he lives to, like, 180 and you live it till, like, 120. So, like, you just kind of die. And even though he's forced to shield, if he ever parries something because you get annoyed or like bored or you just feel like it's time to interact with his shield, if he parry up tilts literally anything, you just die at 95. So he is priority in a lot of situations. Oh yeah, his upper is really good too. Like not a lot of characters can just go under Bayo and just start putting out hitboxes and nothing loses or misses. Like it's a good one. It goes straight through dive kick and stuff. So he's okay. I mean, he shouldn't win, but he doesn't die, you know? Jigglypuff loses. I played base mage at Let's Make Moves, and I was scared of Jigglypuff, and then I played him, and I was like, oh, that was easy. She just loses. I don't know. I thought something else of the matchup. I thought that there was, like, T to it, but there's not. She just loses. She can just play grounded really well sometimes and get stuff going, but in general, that's just like her outplaying you. She should just lose. Kazuya. Even or slight advantage. I don't really know. I don't feel like I would lose to a Kazuya player ever, so I'm gonna put it here. Kazuya just is forced to swing first versus Bayo a lot. And even like if he doesn't have to swing, if he has to run up shield, that's really bad because like if you grab his shield, it's a really good risk reward. It's not the same as if you grab like Joker, right? Like if you grab Joker and you up throw him or you F throw him, like something bad doesn't really happen to him. But if you grab Kazuya, he doesn't really get back down for free. He has to make a choice to get back down for free. So it's really easy to put Kazuya in situations where you can get an opening. So he's forced to actually play really well versus Bayo to do anything. And he doesn't pressure her that hard at ledge. You agree with the Roy placement, but there's no way you beat Bowser that hard. Well, you have to think about it from my perspective, Sharp. Causes, even if they know how to combo Bayo, I don't know. I just feel like it's so easy to get a lead versus Kazuya and then run away. And it's actually not that hard to edgeguard him either. Like the fact that you can edgeguard a character as Bayo and get kills is like a really big deal. I don't think she should get hit by like Electric Wing Godfist anymore. Like either. Like I feel like it's too... The only time I ever get hit by Electric Wing Godfist is when they do it at the fucking perfect time and just like slice through my ABK with it. But if they don't do that, I just don't get hit by it ever. And if they do that, I can just literally stand still, look at them, see them do that, and then ABK it right after. I've been lapping a lot versus Kazuya, and I think that running away from him is the like ideal way to play. You can just literally get a lead and run away, like, for a time. And if you shield Electric Wing Godfist at the ledge and it pushes you off, you can ABK as a true punish. Like it'll push you off stage, and then you can just ABK before his end lag is done, and then it's a true punish. So I think there's a lot of like labbing to be done still to figure out the character, but I don't think Bayo loses. I think if any character beats Kazuya, it's Bayo. I can put it like that. You see the hitbox on Kazuya's nonsense? I don't want to see it. That would make me upset. Bayo beats Ken because she has a better advantage state than him, and he's forced to shield all the fucking time. Ken is actually kind of annoying because his shield lasts forever, though. Like, forever. Like, Ryu and Ken just kind of like... Where's Ryu? Let me put him here, too. It's kind of the same shit. Where are you? Oh. Their shields, like, I'll back air their shield, like, perfectly spaced, right? And then I'll, like, turn around down tilt their shield, and then I'll go back to, like, running away and, like, spacing more. And their shield just lasts forever. Like, oh my god. They shield, like, 4 things before there's even any pressure on their shield. I'm like, oh, wow. I have to, like, space perfectly for every single thing that you do if I want to, like, contest your shield. It's really insane. Like, really insane. Like, Peach's shield, like, you back her up twice and then she has to start tilting it really fucking perfectly if she wants to shield one more time. Yeah, you're not supposed to heal side versus Ken. You'll just die. Versus Ken, you just have to stay out of his range and just force him to, like, run up shield, and then you have to punish it. He has to run up shield because of the threat of ABK, and then you have to punish it. You don't have to always run up grab it, but you have to pressure his shield and, like, make him want to drop it. Like, if he shields, you could run up, jump in place, and then, like, down tilt to, like, catch him dropping shield, or, like, run up, run back, and then, like, he might spot dodge thinking you're gonna grab, and you could, like, ABK it. It's just, when characters are forced to run up shield versus Bayo, they're not in a winning position, they're in a bad position, because their options are super limited from then on. And if you have good enough movement and callouts and kind of, like, awareness, you should win from there. Once you forced a character with a bad disadvantage state to run up shield, you should win from there. Really easy. It's just a heavy. Really easy because they can't do anything ever because they're too slow and they can't land and they can't get off ledge and they can't recover. And do I really have to explain this one, guys? Please don't make me. Link is probably slight advantage. I would put Link in really easy, but he has really good ledge trapping on Bayo, and he has really good survivability against Bayo because of the bomb, Z-drop bomb explosion thing. Like, he shouldn't die early versus Bayo often, so even though neutral is really hard for him and, like, he takes a lot of damage, he shouldn't die. He should live for a good amount of time, and then he could, if he ever gets Bayo on ledge, he can kind of fuck her a little bit because he has a really long F tilt, lasts really long time, and it sends you really far away, and it's just, like, really annoying. Also, he's like a Z-drop bomb setup where you can't neutral get up or jump because it just catches it, and I don't know, stuff like that. He just hits really hard, and his hitboxes are really big, so once he has you on ledge, he can actually pressure you. You explain things so much better than most people. Helps learning a lot. Thanks. I try. But when I play against this character, it's just like, I don't know. There's just no good links, so I'll never really know, but I'm pretty sure Bayo doesn't lose to Link. Little Mac is really bad because you just go in the air and then you land at random times and then you just hit him one time and then he dies and he can't do anything ever. Not exclamation point Metafy. Lucas is probably slight advantage because the kid can, like, never land and he's really slow on the ground, so it's really easy to eventually just find him in a spot where you can swing really freely and then he just takes a ton of damage and explodes. And his PK Fire is just not that good versus Bayo if you just kind of, like, Lucas is, like, PK Fire in ranges where they can do nothing but PK Fire, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I know that, like, you know, like, they don't really do it right. I don't think his zoning is that real. I think the only thing the character excels at versus Bayo is, like, playing mid-range and kind of, like, killing her. Like, he is good at fighting Bayo when there's the pressure of, like, oh, if I get hit by, like, a short up order, like, right now I'm gonna fucking explode and I'm gonna die. But it takes him so much work to get you to 100 that it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have any grab combos. His PK Fire hits you one time. If you do happen to fuck up and get hit by it, it hits you one time, and it's like, okay, who cares? And his ledge coverage is not really good. Like, it's not, there's no coverage. It's just kind of like if he reads your jump at a random time, he can punish you, or, you know, he could, like, pressure your neutral get up and roll. But it's not that good because he takes so long to get back down to the ground. If he tries to swing on you with, like, an aerial or, like, even just a tilt, if he just tries to, like, down tilt you or, like, anything at the ledge, you can just look at him and be like, oh, you press something, okay, I'm gonna jump now, and you leave. So it's really hard for him to actually get you to 100. Once it gets you to 100, it's really hard, and the character can be really finicky and hard to hit, but you don't really have to hit him unless he's already in disadvantage. Like, you can just throw out pokes, like down tilt or like ABK or dive kick, and if not, just use movement to stay out of his range, and if you just do that, it's not that hard. The character is just forced to act first, not because Bayo has like pressure or anything, but because Bayo is just like 5 times faster than him, so he has to just like, to keep up with what you're doing, he has to like do things first, and then you just play off that. It's just not that great of a character because he struggles so much with landing. If he didn't struggle so much with landing, he would probably be really good versus Bayo, but he's just not. He's so boring to fight. Yeah, he is. He also gets pressured really bad in the corner. Like, he has to like roll out of the corner or like fight out of the corner with like a forwarder, and he has to do it. There's no other way for him to get out, and those are both really committal options. Mario is probably even. Yeah, I think Mario's even. I beat Karma last year, but I could tell he didn't know what he was doing. But like, the thing is, I've never played against a Mario and thought that they know what they're doing. So I don't really know. I just play bait and punish in mid-range, and I just zone them out. And then when I think they're going to go in on me, I just stuff them out first with like an ABK or like a Nair or something. And then I get a lot of damage. But the character's really hard to kill. The character's really hard to edge guard. And the character's really hard to pressure. It's really hard to pressure Mario because he can always just shield one thing and then fight. Like, you're never really going to block string him, right? You just kind of poke at him and then run away. So because there's not that much pressure on him, you can't really oppress him. He doesn't get oppressed. He's a good character. He has options all the time. It's just that Bayo has a really easy time doing damage to him, and she has a really easy time stuffing his aggression because he has short limbs and like, he's not that fast. But he doesn't ever die trying to like land or trying to, I don't know, get out of the ledge. He shouldn't die unless he's getting hit by like a read, like a jab is like the most he can do, where you just throw it out and you hope they run into it. But he shouldn't die unless you read him. So that's why I don't think it's that bad of a matchup. Because he has good rage combos, and eventually you'll get him to a percent where you have to read him to kill him, like 130 or something. And it's like, oh, I have to read you, but if you read my read, I'm going to get up throw, upper, and I'm going to fucking explode. So that's really annoying. His neutral's not that bad, though. I just think that Marios don't know how to play neutral versus Bayo. They feel like they have to approach, and they don't. You know? I don't know. I just kind of like, they run at me, and I'm like, okay, I mean, if you're going to run at me, I'm just going to run back and then hit you after you go in on me, and then they die. But I don't think he should die that much. And he is good. He has a good weight. Like, he shouldn't be dying to Bayo combos, but Mario's always died to Bayo combos. I don't really get it. I don't know why. They just don't really know how to SDI. Mario shouldn't lose to Bayo. It's just that they're not that good versus Bayo. Mario's a top tier character who is like fucking amazing. He should not lose to Bayo. Marth is winning for Bayo because he doesn't have good ledge coverage, because Bayo has too much movement, so you can't really tipper her that much. Like, Lucina is even versus Bayo because she can always like forward air or F tilt like a Bayo at the ledge, and it'll always be the same hit, and it's like consistent damage. But Marth doesn't do that, so it's just not enough reward. Kima. Thank you, Starstruck. Or Sunstruck. What character should I do next? Like, Leo would beat me, even if Marth loses to Bayo, he would still beat me. Who fucking cares? He's too good. Okay, let's do... I think Bayo beats Mii Gunner because you just have to get right next to them and then they explode. I think I play the matchup wrong. I think if you just go right next to Mii Gunner and then start fighting, they don't really have anything to like deal with you. Like, you can just kind of block string them to death because they can't do anything out of shield that's like punishing. I played like long range when I played against Competencito, and I played it pretty bad too, and it was like game 5 last hit, and I was like watching the replay and I was like, why did I give him any space to begin with? Like, at all. I think if you just rush down this character with Bayo by just kind of jumping in and threatening dive kick and shit like that, just threaten that you're going to go next to them, and then once you're close enough to just like full go in with like a fair 1-2, like run at them, short hop at them with like anything, then it's not that hard. They have pretty good juggling versus Bayo is the one problem. Like they can like trap your landings with like missiles and up air and stuff like that. So they should, like they can damage you. Like not a lot of characters can damage Bayo when she tries to reset, but this character can. So they do hurt, but if you just get right next to them and you just kind of like speed run them their stock by going near them and pressuring them, then it's way easier than if you give them space and let them play their own game. Because Bayo doesn't have to let Mii Gunner play their own game, I think she's advantage state because that's Mii Gunner's whole thing. This character sucks. So bad. Go for there. Be better. Pokemon Trainer. I used to think Bayo beat Pokemon Trainer, and then lately I feel like Bayo doesn't beat Pokemon Trainer because of Squirtle being like so OP. But maybe I'm just crazy. I think Bayo destroys Ivysaur, and I think she's really, really good versus Charizard in comparison to other characters because you're not allowed to jump over Bayo. So when you like put Charizard in any situation, he's not allowed to go high. So I think she's really good versus those two characters. But Squirtle's really hard. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that Squirtle can solo Bayo. I think that beating 2 out of the 3 characters is really good. And I'm going to put it in slight advantage because a lot of Bayo's advantage state can force out the other 2 Pokemon. Like, Squirtle can't fight back when he's in the air or when he's in a combo or when he's like, you know, when he's in a pressured situation, he can't fight back because he's just a little kid. Like he doesn't have anything. All of his hitboxes are super tiny, just like he is. And so when you put him in a situation where he has to deal with an attack, you can force the switch. And then once you force the switch, they can't go back because Ivysaur can't get you away from them without hard reading you. So I think that even though Squirtle does beat Bayo pretty bad, there's ways to play it where you force them to get off of Squirtle right now or you'll kill them, you know, and then just make them go to the other 2 Pokemon and then just like fuck them up. I think it's just a strategic thing. It's like there's definitely a way to fight Pokemon Trainer. I think that the problem is that a lot of people try to just like do it by feel, and I don't think that's it. I think you need to know the counterplay to the Pokemon Trainer people, because if you don't, then you just get matchup checked 3 times in a row and you lose. The biggest thing for this matchup that people don't get is when you play against Charizard, you just have to run up and grab him because he can't do anything in the air. Like, you just throw him in the air and then you start hitting him. PT need to learn how to SEO Squirtle instead of switching to a character that's going to die. I don't know. Squirtle can kind of get advantage stated to death. Like, he can't land and he's forced off stage and then he has to do stuff. I don't think it's that bad. I think when Bayo hits Pokemon Trainer, I think when Bayo hits Squirtle, there's still pressure. It's just, I don't think he dies usually, you know? But there's pressure. You can force out the switch. What did I just do? Please. Bro. Can someone clip it and send me the clip of my tier list? No. Please. There's gotta be a way to get it back, right? I can't live like this. Bro, there's just no way. That just happened. What was this one? Was this slight disadvantage? Someone get me the clip, please. Thank you. No way. Why doesn't it save? Like, what? I put so much time and energy into that. Alright. Sonic is over. Let me turn off these fucking Echo Fighters. Sonic is over here. Wolf is over here. Skin is over here. Luke's over here. Luigi's over here. Mario's over here. I remember most of this. This is so humiliating. Oh my god. Please. There's so many characters. Ice Climbers. Bowser. Bowser Jr. Byleth. Oh my god. I have to use the girl Byleth because I don't have the energy to scroll through all of these alts right now. Incineroar's here, I think. Did I put Incineroar in even? No. Terry's. I put Terry in even. Roy, I put in even. Riri was here. Donkey Kong was here. Diddy Kong was here. Dr. Mario was here. Duck Hunt was here. Falco was here. Jigglypuff was here. Kazooie was here. Diddy was here. K Rool was here. Link was here. Mike was here. Was here. I put him in even? Yeah. Marth was here. Midnight was here. Min was here. Game Watch was here. Ness was here. Pac-Man was here. Omar was here. Pokemon Trainer, I put inside Advantage. Steve was here, right? Yeah. This is so humiliating. Anyone else that I did already? I already did Robin. Yeah, really easy. Did I put Robin in really easy? Or did I never even do Robin? Okay, I did. Okay. Huge shift occurred. Nothing. I just pressed the button on my mouse. I didn't even press the back button. My mouse has a back button on it for some reason. Okay, Robin is really easy, I think. Yeah, I think Robin is really easy. I mean, the character is just dog shit, and they can jump over everything, and if you somehow don't jump over everything, you can just witch time it and turn off whatever trap they were doing, and the character is just forced to play out of shield, and the character is not that great out of shield to warrant a whole matchup being based on playing out of shield. So I will put them here. I'm just gonna put easy. I don't want people to be like, oh my god, like Robin is not really easy. Like, okay, I'm sorry, like easy. They're easy characters, okay? Rosalina is also easy. Or is she side advantage? I'm gonna put her in side advantage because she's actually a good character. Where was I? Okay, let's do Snake. So I think Snake is possible. I don't think Snake is in the way too hard section anymore. I think that I'm good enough at the game to beat MVD. I will say that. I'm not saying Bayo's good versus Snake, but I don't think that I would lose to MVD. If we played 5 sets, I don't think I would lose 5 sets. Like, I don't think I would beat Apollo Kage because he's as good as me at the game, but I don't think I would lose to MVD. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I've learned enough about the character. I've been studying the character a long time. I think I know enough about the character to beat MVD, at least, right? Like the bare minimum. I don't know about Apollo Kage. We'll get there one day. Or maybe I'll just play Palu for Apollo Kage and try my best. But this is not impossible anymore. I just didn't know the matchup. I've been texting my freaking Brawl friends that played Brawl for like the past 2 years trying to figure out how to beat this character, and I haven't figured it out completely yet, but I feel like I'm that close. I feel like I'm like 60% of the way there to figuring out how to play against this character. I would beat Shogun. I wouldn't lose to a Japanese Snake. They don't know what the fuck is happening either. I have a better idea what's happening than they do. Like, I know more about Snake than they do about Bayo. I think like that would be fine. Mega Man is slight advantage for Bayo because you can kind of press whatever you want and it'll just work out because the character is just like not that good with get off me tools, and they don't have high damaging sequences that should be hitting Bayo because you have such good movement. Sonic is Bayo's worst matchup. It's probably Snake. Mega Man just kind of, I played Peanut at Ludwig's and I don't think I played it that well, but I still won. So I just feel like it's kind of over here. Maybe it's even. It's just like the character takes a lot of damage like off stage and stuff, and the character can't fight out of shield, so they get pressured a lot. The thing is, they pressure Bayo a lot with their back air. Yeah, exactly, Spencer. Like they can Metal Blade and then trump you, and it's just like a lot to keep track of. I don't know how Mega Man's supposed to kill you. Mega Man just kills you with back air. I mean, it's just so fucking instant. Like, that back air is crazy. If you ever jump off the ledge and they're just kind of sitting there watching you, they can just back air it and you just get kind of, like, I don't know, fucked up. And they're really hard to... no, there's just no way that it's an even matchup because Bayo's always oppressing him, like, pretty much the entire game. So, I'm just gonna put them here. Like, just playing the matchup, I feel like Mega Man can't do anything besides, like... 2 things. Just play around the bear. Haha. No, literally though. Or don't and get hit by it and it's fine because that's all they can ever do. Their ledge pressure is not that good, and one of Mega Man's biggest strength is like shield pressure, but it's really hard to get onto Bayo like that, you know? He's just forced to play out of shield majority of the time, and when he's in a disadvantaged state he can't really fight back. How do you approach neutral versus Mega Man? When I played against Peebnut, I just did a bunch of short hop nairs, and it would like break through the pellets or pressure him to not pellet, and it kind of just like zoned him out of like center stage. I would just like constantly zone him out of center stage with like short hop nair, and that was about all I did. Like short hop nair, land, down tilt, short hop nair, ABK right before I land, short hop nair, double jump back, and once I pressured him to like not contest me in the air, then I started doing like down tilt checks. Like I would just run up down tilt a lot to like make sure he doesn't step forward at me. And so once I conditioned him to not step forward and not jump forward, I just started running up at him and kind of like back airing his shield and setting up like a lot of shield pressure so I could like open him up basically. The one thing is though, you have to be really good at spacing your normals and pressuring with normals, because if you like get too hasty at specials, Mega Man is usually just walking in general, so he's gonna stop his walk, shield your heal slide, shield your ABK, and just back air it out of shield or up smash out of shield. Like, you're gonna get punished. You can't really force anything versus the character. You just have to, like, pressure forever. Like, forever until they give you what you want. But it's better than nothing, because when you're pressuring the character, you're never gonna get reversaled. Like, you just have to space him out with normals, do a lot of pressure, and then if he does read what you're about to do really well or something, he'll just run up and like parry and like throw you somewhere. But you're never going to take as much damage as you would have gotten if you pressured him and got the hit instead. So it's all about like stage control versus characters like this. Most of the time stage control is not that valued in Ultimate because a lot of characters have a way to just cheat their way out of it, like Mii Brawler and Min Min or ZSS or Steve. But Mega Man's like a normal character where you don't just get to leave. Like if you're in the corner, you have to get out of the corner. So that's why Bayo's good versus him, because she has a lot of long-lasting hitboxes and stuff, and you can just pressure him like a lot with just like your presence, basically. You just have to be good at Smash to beat Mega Man, basically, but I don't think that Bayo loses. I think her kit is really good versus his, and his disadvantage is really bad versus her too, because he can't land, he has no good off me's in the air, and his recovery is not good versus Bayo either. He takes a lot of damage trying to recover back to the stage. And even if he doesn't recover back to, if he does recover back to the stage, then he has to deal with a ledge trap that he's not really very well equipped to handle. It's just important to respect his down air. That's like his one good move. That's like super disruptive. Okay, Pit was slight advantage. Richter is really easy. He just dies if he gets hit, and if he hits you, nothing happens. So just hit him until he dies. That's all I have to say. Ridley is really easy because everything he does gets 1-to-1 punished with a really good combo starter. Like if he short hop nairs and you shield it, you just forward him out of shield and he will literally die. So yeah, just bad matchup. Shulk is probably just slight disadvantage. I played against Jared King and I played against what's his face, Soul Arts at Let's Make Moves. And I really don't like that matchup. I'm pretty sure it's like not impossible and it's not as bad as Snake Sonic, but it's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty fucking bad. Like, it's pretty fucking bad. I mean, just they just do the most basic shit. They're just like, oh, I'm getting comboed, shield. Oh, I have you at ledge, smash art. Like, if you camp really hard, you can win. But when I camp really hard and like I rotate out his like spells and stuff and fight him at the right times, I still just struggle with just speed, art, shulk, and neutral. Like, I still struggle with just that. Like, it's still so good because Bayo's not that good out of shield if you hit her shield spaced. Like, if you hit Bayo's shield and she can't up be out of shield, like you're too far away, she doesn't really do anything. Like, if I down tilt out of shield, he can just like jump again before it comes out, or he can shield and up be it. Like, she gets pressured really hard by like swords hitting her shield because she can't fight back out of it. Like, most of the time you try to avoid it with movement instead of just being forced to shield it, but you can't really avoid speed, art, shulk with movement because it's faster than you. Yeah, like, he shouldn't, I don't know. And his forward is really good at ledge, but I don't think he's that good to be here. I learned how to play around him with his smash art at ledge. Like, I don't die to that anymore, but like, I learned that I could just like stall off stage, grab ledge, neutral get up, and if I don't die to a grab, I just neutral get up into shield, and then I just immediately full hop back out of shield and go off stage again. And then if I do that one time, like, shield art or smash art goes away. So I don't die to smash art much. It's just like, the feeling doesn't really matter. It's just too hard to do anything to the character neutral. I feel like I know a lot of the counterplay and I still struggle. So it's just a really annoying freaking character, honestly. Bayo's not fast enough or like scary enough to oppress him. Yeah, you have to combo him perfectly, and then even still, you don't really get much reward. I think the key to the matchup is when he doesn't have shield art, like, to be pretty aggressive. And when he has Buster on, to just leave because the fight's not worth taking. Because if he gets a Buster string on you, it's like game over. But if you get one on him, he'll cut it short with shield. It's about keeping track of his resources and fighting him when there's a good time to fight him. But those times are very not long lasting. That's what I'll say on that. Bayo Sora is probably even because, like, Sora's not really bad versus Bayo because they have a really good ground and neutral, and they have pretty good ledge trapping. Like, they have good pressure at the ledge and stuff, and good grab combos too. Sora, in general, like, his playstyle is just strong versus Bayo generically because he's just a grounded, slow burn, like, lots of shielding, like, fighting out of shield character. He has a lot of good traits to beat Bayo in neutral, but he is a pretty vulnerable disadvantage state. Like, he is a pretty vulnerable disadvantage state, and it's not that bad, but you have to definitely make decisions to get out of disadvantage that are like uncomfortable to make. But he just does way too much damage without actually reading you. Like, he just kind of like plays it super slow. They're really good Soras. They'll play it really, really slow. And playing a committal character, it's really hard to deal with them when they're just kind of like waiting for you. And if you don't give them what they want, they can kind of oppress you afterwards. Like they'll just call out that you won't go in after camping you for like 10 seconds. They're like, oh, he won't go in on the 11th second. And they just go up to you and start mashing their safe aerials, and you just get oppressed, and it's really fucking annoying. But Bayo has a really good kit to use versus Sora because she doesn't lose, because when he nairs your shield, you can just forward her the next hit. Like, if he nair ones your shield, you can forward her before the next hit comes out. And then you can get like a really big punish because he has to land there no matter what. Even if it's not a good forwarder hit, even if it doesn't combo, he has to land after, and then he gets a lot of damage. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just kind of like a stalemate matchup where we both play really campy grounded stuff, and we just try to hurt each other worse than the other one in disadvantage state. But it's not that easy to deal with Sora besides that, I guess. He just slows the game down to a crawl, and Bayo's not fast enough to force him to speed up the pace, you know? It's a hard matchup to play, but I definitely don't think he beats Bayo. But I don't think, like, I would put it here if I think, oh, if I play Commandment, I'll beat him, but I don't think that. So I think it would be really hard if I did beat him, so I'm going to put him here. Like, no matter what, the game versus Sora is going to take a really long time, and playing really long sets, or really long games versus people with Bayo is really hard because she's just an intrinsically committal character, and eventually in that 6-minute game you're going to commit, and it's going to be a bad commit one day, and you're going to get fucked up. Toon Link loses to Bayo, but not that bad because he has bomb to fair, and it's easy for Toon Link to get bombs. So that's the only difference between him and like Link and Young Link. He has kill confirms from his specials, but it's like, who fucking cares? It's just shitty Toon Link. Villager loses to Bayo pretty bad. I don't know if it's this bad though. I'll put him here. The thing with Villager is he can like fight pretty well in mid-range. Like because he has like that ZSS trait of like he can pellet your not pellet, slingshot. He can slingshot your ABK into non-existence really easily, and the angles it sends you at are actually pretty good. Like you can get slingshotted and it'll beat your ABK and it'll send you off stage, and you have to deal with like the bowling ball, and it's just like he can pressure you pretty well. And he has F tilt at the ledge, which is a really good like long-lasting hitbox that kind of covers clownery, like a drop double jump up B or like a ledge jump or like a drop double jump forwarder. His F tilt will like beat it, which is really good for him. So he has ways to like oppress you with a read. Like if he has a read, he has an option to do something about it. That's the difference between him and like this area. Like even if Wii Fit knows I'm gonna drop double jump fair 1 2 3 from ledge, what the fuck is she gonna do about it, you know? But the fact that he has stuff that he can do about Bayo mashing is pretty good. Like he's not that bad versus Bayo in that way. And in mid-range he also has Nair, which is like he can hit your shield with it, and then it's not always easy to punish it either. Like he can do like a full hop Nair or like a cross up Nair, and it's kind of hard to punish it. And if you get hit by it, you have to tech and you get punished. Like he can get a really good punish on you, like a lot of damage that you don't think it's gonna happen, and then it happens. So character's not that bad versus Bayo. It's just that Bayo's advantage is just so much better. But if he reads you, like if he's playing better than you, he should win. So I'll put it here instead of there. Sheik is I don't know. I've never played against a good Sheik in my life. I definitely don't think it's even, because the only thing she can do to kill you is like up air into up smash, which is not something that Bayo should get hit by. Or like that needle shit, that shouldn't hit Bayo either, because Bayo doesn't have to be grounded to deal with it. So I'm going to put it here because Bayo doesn't have to be in spaces where she has to interact with Sheik's kill setups, and Bayo has bigger hitboxes than Sheik, and Sheik doesn't have good ledge coverage, so you can just mash a bunch of shit and then ABK, and even if you miss all of your shit, you just go to ledge and nothing happens to you. So yeah, Sheik's kit doesn't work that well into Bayo's. It's just you have to be really patient and neutral. Does Bayo beat Wario? Probably, right? I don't know. I feel like it's even. I'm gonna put even. I think that like if Wario doesn't die to Bayo combos, he gets so many wafts, and his ground game is really good versus Bayo, and he has kill setups. Like the fact that he can just do like weak fair into dash attack or down tilt into dash attack on Bayo and kill her is a really big deal. And he pressures her really well at the ledge with F tilt and back air. And I just feel like no character that is able to pressure Bayo at the ledge is losing to Bayo that much. I mean, he has such good movement, and I don't know. I feel like the whole like idea of the matchup has been shifted because Gluto doesn't know how to SDI because his finger's broken or whatever, and so everyone's like seeing Bloom kill him at 0 all the time. But Wario should never die at 0. Like that shouldn't happen. So like Wario should never die off the top. He's so fucking heavy. He should never die off the top, and he shouldn't die off the side, because if you're dying off the side you have bad SDI. So even though he has to fight Bayo, like it doesn't really matter because Bayo doesn't have a way to kill him and he has ways to kill Bayo. So it should really end up in a stalemate where he ends up at like 155 or something, and he uses his great movement to avoid jab and fair 1-2 jab and up till back air, and then he can just kind of nick away at you and you're not going to get a kill on him, you know? I don't know. Like, it's just the fact that he can just like whiff punish you with random shit and like kill you for it. And I don't know, I might be crazy, but I don't think it's that bad. Okay, I'm saying I don't think it's that bad. Do I think it's even? Let me think. Let me compare it to the other characters I put here. So this is hard, but it's not bad. These are all like matchups that are hard, but if you play it right, it's still fine. But then Wario is like... Okay, I'll put it here. I think that the Wario player has to play better than you to win. And I don't think you necessarily have to play better than them to win. Because even though they shouldn't die from the combos, they take a lot of fucking damage from the combos. And they struggle to land. Bloom is 3-2. That's it. Like, Bloom has lost 2 sets to Gluto's Wario when Gluto dies to combos no matter what at 20. But Bloom isn't as good as Gluto. And that's not even mean to say. It's just like Gluto's like what? Like top 7 player or something. So I think it is probably winning for Bayo. I mean, the Wario really struggles with disadvantage state. Like, after the combo ends, he's still in bad disadvantage. Like, it's really hard for him to get back down to the ground. But he will eventually, but he does take a lot of fucking damage. It's just that, like, characters like this that have, like, move around forever and they never actually give you what you want. Like, exactly what you want, like a kill setup or, like, a witch time or something. You can't witch time them because they're mostly just moving. They're not even, like, swinging. And it's always, like, at a really random timing when their hit comes in because you kind of don't ever have to do anything versus Bayo. So I find it really hard to witch time this character, and that's like one of the integral parts of the kit, right? But I think maybe just reactive ABK is just such a big deal versus Wario and neutral and advantage day and stuff that he can't really do what he wants to do. Like, in my head, I'm like, okay, why doesn't he just play grounded? But grounded Wario's not that good. So I feel like that just means that he loses. Okay, matchups are done. Thinking. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, bye guys. I just talked for 3.5 hours straight. Where's the sunglasses emoji?